in the sky to your cabin or camper in the woods, or out stargazing on the back of a flat pickup truck parked in some deserted area and enjoying the starry sky, or just couch surfing, or maybe just on a road trip or relaxing in your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. So crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some tea or coffee. I got Old Red with me tonight, if you guys remember from my old days. Because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for everyone and all the messages I've been receiving. Thank you so much. We got a lot of people watching this show, a lot more than I thought, or a lot more than I expected, or a lot more, I don't know how to put this, in different levels of unimaginability. Let's just put it that way. So, big thank you to everyone that's here tonight. We got Morgan Davies in here tonight, nice and early. We got Lord Humongous here, nice and early. He just got off Skype with Dano. So people are messaging and meeting each other here through the channel. People are meeting with each other and in New Zealand. People are meeting up with each other in Australia, in the States, in Canada. People coming to meet with me at my shop, and that's fantastic. This is a dream come true for what we're trying to do, right? Our message or what's going on, and just keeping the discussion alive, keeping the thoughts open, keeping the progression moving forward, right? All right, people of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. Okay, guys, let's do a quick channel plug, very important for the channel, and we're going to get into some of the news, and then we're going to get into tonight's topic, especially when it comes to grid power. We're going to go over several incidences where we did have some disturbances in the grid. And a lot of it was fluky. Oh, FU just sent me $5. Woo! Thank you so much. So we've had disturbances. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where things go. And the reason why I bring it up, it's because it's been in discussion. Let's just say. Or it's been brought forward. Kind of throwing that out there, you know? You throw out something, it boomerangs back and comes back to you and hits you hard. Hey, what's going on? And then 6 months later, they look back at you and say, we told you about this. So we're talking about it tonight. So we got Matrix Rip 09 is asking, is the Raven coming on tonight? Yeah, if he's available. Blunt News in the house. We got Lord Humongous in the house. Owen in the house, my man. Mitch Madden from Oregon. Amy Burr. And who else is here? Craig Cook from New Zealand. What is happening? Okay, guys, let's go quick channel. Let me take these things off because I can't see a damn thing. And let's go over to a channel plug here real quick. Guys of the night, people of the night. Article scan. Guys, this is it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, be part of the channel. Guys, trends in the housing market this Wednesday is going to be a good one. I promise you guys. And guys, next week, are you prepared? I'm going to go over my bug out bag and what I have in my bug out bag, survival. I'm going to go over and maybe I'll put together a bug out bag from the dollar store in case you got to get out. Bug out bag is if you need to get out. And the week after that, it's going to be minimalist. We're going to talk about minimalism. Because some people are living way beyond what they need. They're surrounded by crap all the time. Just stuff they don't need. Stuff they don't need in their lives. And then there's going to be the Christmas special. And this big one on December 26th. Okay? This is the Mike in the Night call-ins. You want to set your reminders for this because we're going to have 2021 call-ins predictions. So I want everybody. I want Lynn, Amy, Lord Humongous, Craig. I want everybody that's ever called in. Everyone's going to get 10 minutes, and everyone's going to give their 2021 predictions. We're going to try and get 40, 50 people on to predict. Not post-dict. Because we predict here on this channel. We don't post-dict. All right. Guys, don't forget to shop Teespring if you want to pick up a t-shirt. The Dirt Bike t-shirt is selling very well. I want to make a Lord Humongous hoodie but I'm getting licensing. I'm trying to get licensing for the image of Lord Humongous so I could use it without getting sued. And I can't, I'm having a tough time finding one with high quality. But this is the Dirt Bike channel here. The Dirt Bike t-shirt. It does say Mike in the Night. It looks really nice. I do wear this at the store and when I go out. It's very loud. It's really nice. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Facebook. If you want to join me on Facebook, go ahead and follow me on here. That's right, Morgan Davies. Post-dict. No, we predict. Every other channel post-dicts. We predict here. And guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thank you, everybody, for sending me your show tips on Instagram. It's easy for me to get to on Instagram. Please send me your show tips here. And don't forget to follow me on Parler. Guys, Amy Burr is on here. I'm following her back. Lord Humongous isn't on here yet. I think Morgan Davies is not here yet. So, guys, Parler, get on Parler. Everybody, so what I do is I go, look, Linny Poo's posting stuff. Look, Razi Khan is on here. He's in the comments, too. You got to see this guy, this big fight between, this is why you don't spit on a Trump supporter. Man, get on Parler, guys. You're missing the party. So, let me go to my home. That's my homepage, yeah. Here I am on Parler. Lord, get on Parler, man. Start posting stuff, dude. We got Cy Sharp in the house, VC in the house. Also, guys, I was talking with the Alaskan prepper, and he wants to come on the show to do a prepping show next year. So sometime in early January, Alaskan prepper will come on and co-host an episode of Mike in the Night and give us an understanding or kind of a better, yeah. Guys, don't forget to check out Art by Dano. This guy is the best. He's been on the show like 13 times, and he's got so many good prints. He's made me so many prints. Look at this. So this, after Christmas, we take all the decorations down. I'm going to put one in my son's room. I'm going to put two in my store, and all the caricatures. The prints are absolutely gorgeous. And Dano, thank you so much for your time. And it looks like that Lord Humongous, is gonna meet up with Dano too down there in California. So that's really good when we have people from the channel, like-minded folks meeting each other. And it goes back to when I told you guys, you know, I can't talk to anybody. I can't say anything. Okay, my family, we understand. My family understands the situation. Where we are, where we could possibly be heading, and what we should expect. We get it. We're there. The problem is when you try to explain or just maybe think outside the box or just add some constructive or negative criticism or kind of want to even look at it on a scientific side. I'm not a big science guy, but looking at it on a scientific side or like let's agree with science for once, and people look at you like you're growing something out of the side of your head. People look, you know, and you look at them, it's like, man, this guy's so out of his tree right now. Are you out of your tree? And that's what I say sometimes. Are you out of your tree? But you can't talk to nobody. And I just keep my trap shut and just kind of just be a yes man. Oh, look at what Trump's doing. I'm like, sure, buddy. This guy, and I'm like, do you play the stock? You got to play the stock market. You got to be drowning in money with it. Hey, you know everything. You got your sources. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Guys, check out my video from five months ago where I invested in airline stock. Air Canada and all the other stocks I bought. And American Airlines from 5 months ago. Look where airline stock is today. Okay? And when everyone bought gold, I shorted gold. And I even made a video, I shorted gold. Like 4 or 5 months ago when gold was at 2,080 or 2,040 bucks. I don't know how these people, the people that you try to explain something to, how come they're not rolling in cash? If they know what's happening. Usually if you're in the know and you understand the trend and what is happening and you could pull the trigger on things and understand, that means you're in the know. That means you understand. That means you could go into a market and understand. Forget about business. Forget about graphs. Forget about macro. Follow the trend and you will get your money, my friends. Follow the trend. Anyways, let me take a sip here. Oh, nice, cool. You see, now, for survival, this is really good, and I'm going to tell you why. I have one of these babies, and I've had it before on the show, and I miss having it with me on the show. My stuff stays cold, but I put lemon in there in the morning, and it diffuses through the day. I cut the lemon, squeeze it, and put the whole lemon in there. It diffuses. It tastes phenomenal through the day. Beautiful lemon water, thin my blood a bit, clean out any toxins. Amazing. And I'm so happy to be with you guys tonight. I really am. It's really hard when you don't have much, not too many people to talk to. Craig Cook's in the house. Steven Sewell, thanks for the $50 the other day. Steven Sewell sent me a big super chat the other day. Thanks, brother. Amy Burr in the house. Everybody here. Oh, Supreme Cannon just logged in. So good to see Supreme. Hopefully we can get him on without any interruptions. It looks like the internet's running real smooth tonight. Looks like you guys are going to have a nice smooth show tonight. Yeah, let's get some pants together for that. Okay, let's get into the news, and then we're going to go into our topic for the night, which is very important. So let's go into some of the news. Where did I put the news? Yeah, I got some stuff I want to share with you guys about that tonight. All right, so in the news, California Sheriff slams Governor Newsom's dictatorial lockdowns won't be blackmailed, bullied, or used as muscle to enforce. See, I like this guy. Why doesn't this guy run for Department of Defense or something? Tested positive for COVID? Be sure to ask this question. Ask, what's the cycle threshold CT value for that test? Again, the Portuguese who made it unlawful in Portugal, they made it unlawful for lockdowns. They made it unlawful for it's against liberties and people's prosperity and freedoms. Portugal passed a law in the courts basically saying because the CT test doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't amount to anything of concern. And in the courts 2 weeks ago, we read that article on Mike in the Night. Unlawful, illegal for any lockdowns. 0. MicroStrategy buys another 50 million in Bitcoin at 19,427, bringing a total to $500 million. Wow. Trump orders withdrawal of nearly all U.S. troops from Somalia. The American public might be forgiven for never knowing there are American troops and bases in Somalia in the first place. Oh, yeah. You saw what happened with the bases in Yemen 10 years ago, and you see where Yemen is today, right? Yeah, okay. We're not going to get into that today because that will shut me down. Goldman sees more Chinese bond defaults. Come on, the Chinese default? The next effect, this credit cleanup strategy will be more onshore defaults next year and more differentiation among a weak and strong borrowers. Now you're going to see a lot of Mickey Mouse, a lot of crap float to the surface, and you're going to have to start weeding it out. Head of the world's largest sovereign wealth fund forced out because his wife is Chinese? What? Why? The Norwegian Silver Security Clearance Authority informs that the reason that I will not receive a renewed security clearance is that my wife is Chinese citizen and resides in China, where I support her financially. Wow. Well, my wife's from the Philippines. I mean, does that mean I don't get something or I don't get well, I don't have to work for, I work for myself, right? So I'm not too worried. I've always worked for myself. Virtuous hypochondria, how one man lost a friend of 20 years. And no low rates do not lead to higher earning multiples. What this means for markets, we know this already. We don't yet know the results of an experiment in which rates rise and central banks cannot climb down because the economy is growing and inflation is back. But we may soon have to find out. We'll see. In the next 6 months, you'll see. Why does Bitcoin have value? Even after 11 years experience and the price of Bitcoin nearly 20 large, the incredulous are still with us. Guys, I'm going to get we're going to probably find a Bitcoin discussion. I'm going to get someone from a Bitcoin channel. So if you know someone that has like 5,000 subscribers and they have Bitcoin and they talk about Bitcoin. I want to get him here on the channel for one mic in the night. We'll do a whole Bitcoin show. We'll discuss Bitcoin. We'll argue Bitcoin, and we'll try and see. I don't know, man. We could talk about Bitcoin. COVID lockdowns or orders for Solcan, San Joaquin Valley as California sees record 25,000 cases. Oh my God. Oh no. Wow. Snowflake CEO earns $95 million per month. That's nice. That's some good money, man. Wow, Israel warns its own nuclear scientists that Iran could target them. Now, this is not getting a lot of airtime. Paris plunges into chaos as protesters denounce new security law. On November 27, French National Assembly approved a Global Securities Bill Article 24, which makes it illegal to distribute images or videos of police officers can easily be identified. Well, but police, this is the thing. Police officers are public figures, right? Public figures. They're public sector workers. I'm sorry. Public sector workers. They're in the public sector. They are paid by the taxpayers, right? I think the only people that have some sort of shadow would be military. I think military, unless they're on reserves, I think. I don't know. But I don't see why they would be worried about that. Well, if the police aren't doing anything wrong, what do they have? It's like me. If I do something wrong, they're going to circulate my photo all over the place, and they're going to put an all points bulletin and maybe run a dragnet. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a person of interest or something, it's the same. They'll come and, you know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that too. So here is the problem here in France. There it is. It's burning. So the France riots are still going on, guys, and they've been continuing and going on. They haven't stopped. They've been going steady now. I think we're going into our 18th, 19th month, and I think the same thing is happening right now in Hong Kong. So I'm not too sure, but that's what's happening right now. And here, law enforcement in Paris is forced to retreat while anarchist bloc militias ran up and attacked them. So they're always going to call the people that are protesting for freedom. They're always going to call the people that don't agree with something the anarchists, or the people against the, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Star Wars. They called the rebel scum, the bad guys, the rebels. And they ended up taking it. Now, there it is there, guys. Still going on in France. It's nothing new. It's been going on, 18, 19 months now? Here we go. Whoa, firecracker. Parties, man. So, explain to me, why are they even standing there? Why are they there? What are they doing there? They're gonna get hurt. This is what I'm not understanding. I guess they have to kind of move crowds around to different streets, disperse crowds, try and get people to go home. France is full blast. Oh, I don't see a single person wearing a mask. I don't see any masks there. What? No. Oh, there's an old man wearing a mask. That's it. Oh, there's a lady over there. Oh, some people are wearing masks. And again, police. When the police come out dressed like heavy, dressed in heavy military gear, it's like me. Let's say I go out to a bar and I dress like a biker, or I dress like a street gang. What do you think is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Yep, firecracker. Here's some more. I mean, we got hundreds of these. So we could be looking at this all night. I don't know if they're looting. They're just destroying properties, what they're doing here. I'm not sure what they're doing here. And there it is, burning. You know what the problem is about a lot of this? They don't allow the people on the street, or the people that are there that actually understand what the cause is, report on this. They get people in some office, in some skyscraper, in somewhere, probably not even in France, to report on this. And that's the scary part. Like, I want this guy right here with the blue hat. This guy right here. I want to know what's going on from his point of view. That's why we have call-ins here. That's why people call into the show, because I want to know what's going on from where you're at. So I kind of wanted to show that to you guys, because France is still burning and it's still unrest. And you pass a law, or you pass some sort of, or you, like in France, they've been having a lot of austerity, right? Where they're cutting back on pensions, they're cutting back on wages, they're cutting back on people's lives, they're cutting back on everything. And it's making it harder for people, especially people that fought in those wars, the great European wars, right? And why wouldn't people fight back? Why wouldn't people want their freedom? It's like saying, well, these anarchists are, no. Okay, guys, so we had the crazy Russian on 2 weeks ago, and the reason why I had him on, he was close to the Russian border there in Finland. He was in the city of, oh God, what's the name of that city in Finland? I don't know why I can't remember that city in Finland. It's not far from St. Petersburg. Anyways, the reason why I got him out there is because of this. And I wanted to save that for tonight's show. Russia moves its most powerful electric warfare system close to the border with Finland. So this is a system that's been somewhat tested, okay, in Siberia and other areas for electronic disturbances, to create electronic disturbances. This is what it's for. Let me try and zoom this in so you guys can see this. So these things come on the back of big trucks, on Humvees, and they have wheels on them. They get put out, they get set up, they get jacked up, they get extended, and these things calibrate with each other and create some sort of powerful electronic wave, okay? This is called the Murmansk BN. Military, and they also have military bases in the Antarctic territory and the Finnish border. Okay, so I kind of wanted to throw this out there, and we had our friend over by the border to see if he could catch any of this and see it from where he was. And he said he thought he could see something like that, but not really. He had his binoculars. So we'll see if we can get him. I'm not sure if he's still in Finland, but here it is, guys. This is the, oh, it's a YouTube video. I got to be careful. So there's the trucks. Look, they come in. Watch this. The truck comes in. Watch this. Let me see if it has it unpacking it here. I don't want to play the video because I don't want to flag it. So you got all these little towers everywhere. Look at that. Look at that. So basically, Russia accuses no. It's not. It's up here. See, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation has released a short video showing the deploy of the Murmansk BN ground mobile radio interference complex to areas located along the border of Finland. BN is a unique Russian long-range communications jamming system especially designed to take out NATO and United States high-frequency military satellite communications. The power of the EW system is aimed at disrupting radio communications at a maximum range of more than 5,000 kilometers. That's about 3,900 miles. Oh, 3,100 miles. It has it here in miles. Sorry. The jammer is specifically geared at tackling high-frequency communication systems, including high-frequency global communication systems. With its help, Murmansk BN is possible to conduct radio reconnaissance, intercept and surpass enemy signals throughout the shortwave range at a distance of up to 5,000 clicks, it said in a statement. The system was developed as a part of a Russian strategic electronic warfare systems and operates as a network-centric capability. So this is a big deal. This is a massive deal. Now, while all the smoke and the elections and all this crap is going on and other countries are moving their chess pieces, do you think the rest of the world stops to play chess, stops their chess game because America is unstable, right, or is not stable at the moment? Now, here's the problem. Do you know why the Mexicans lost the Mexican-American War? The Mexicans lost the American-Mexican War not because the Mexicans weren't strong or organized. They actually were. They were more strong and more organized than Sam Houston in Texas. The reason why the Mexicans lost those wars and the Mexican-American wars is because of the civil unrest in Mexico City. Because Mexico City was being taken over and Mexico City was falling. So the army, most of the army had to go back to Mexico City before they lost their capital. And it wasn't the Americans in there. It was just a bunch of uprising, upheaval. And you see, when America's weak, the rest of the world still moves their chess pieces. They ain't going to stop playing chess because America's not feeling well or if they're in checkmate. All right, let's go to some comments here. Okay, Australia will be in March, where Qantas and major food stores implement no job, no enter, no order of government. Pierre Grosso says the China moon video looks fake. Sons of Meshach says HARP started as an electronic geophysics survey technique using ELF and ULF and 3D imaging and underground structures. Yeah, that was up in Alaska, in a very remote area of Alaska. There's the HARP program. It started in it was discussed in the late 70s. It was implemented in the 80s, and they got something going in the 90s. And then now it's the pinnacle of a lot of conspiracy theory discussions, or a pinnacle of discussion of what it's really. The locals that live in the town close to the HARP electrical magnetic whatever it is system have no idea what it, like, they really don't even know what it's there for. It's been there for years, right? Okay, we got, so FU is saying death first, no vax here. We got Davy Crockett died at the Alamo, says Peter O'Brien. Yeah, the Mexicans would have won the Mexican-American War if it wasn't for the uprising in Mexico City. If there was no uprising in Mexico City, Texas would have been in a lot of trouble, and California and New Mexico would have been in a lot of trouble against the Mexican occupiers. Well, it was theirs first, so American occupiers would have been in a lot of trouble, so to say, right? Okay, big push on cashless society here in the next couple of months. Yeah, January, we're gonna do a cashless society show. Let me write that down. We're gonna go cashless society show, and I want to see if I could get. I'm gonna see if I could touch base again with Max Kaiser. Last time I spoke to him, we talked a bit. Then he kind of fell off the radar. So I'm gonna get see if I can get Max Kaiser on mic in the night. Oh, that's so good. Guys, grab a drink, man. Grab a nice cold one. Sit down, man. Have a coffee or something. Sit down and relax. There are HARP systems all over the world. Russia, Australia, Brazil, China. Yeah. CJ is saying you will own nothing and you will be happy. But what about us that own stuff but don't owe anything for it? What about the conservative type that actually produces, sells, or creates their own economy within their families or themselves? Right? Okay, so let's move on. All right, let's see if we can get, we're going to go over a couple of these things here first. Let me go over some headlines, and we're going to get, let's see if we could get Supreme Cannon on first before his internet starts to die. We'll get him on for a bit. China has first strike capability to melt U.S. power grid with electromagnetic pulse weapon. There it is. This is the electromagnetic pulse weapon that they started developing in the early 2000s. Oops, let me go to article scan. I'm sorry. That's it right there, guys. That's what it looks like. It's a submarine, and it has this... look at that. Stupid advertising is bigger. It's got these panels off on the side that has ballistic missiles, and it has electromagnetic pulse weapons. Let's see if there's another photo. This is not it. This is an ICBM. Well, ICBMs could carry a payload that could disturb the. So here you look at the burst, the gamma ray. This is the range of where they could hit and how much they could remove, or how much they could clear, basically, how much ground it could absorb and wipe out. Now, we have a failing power grid. DHS combats potential electronic pulse attack. So again, this is in the news. They're talking about this. Now, just like global warming was, it's there, right? What does it mean? COVID, it's there. What does it really mean? Food shortage, there. What do they mean? Food, electronic disturbance, it's there. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So biggest solar flare in 3 years is sign that the sun is waking up. So the world's going to get a lot warmer in the next couple of years, especially when we enter the new sun's cycle that it's entering in right now. So keep that in mind, guys. The biggest solar flare in 3 years just occurred. It's a sign of things to come as we enter an active phase of the next solar cycle. So there it is right there. It is active. And here, there's this one I want to show you. There it is. In 2020, Earth narrowly avoided a catastrophe. Again, on August 16, NOAA spotted a solar flare erupting from the sun's surface. The slow-motion flare, look at that, created a shock wave through the star's atmosphere and sent a small ripple towards Earth's magnetic field. The coronal mass ejection from the sun wasn't due to hit our planet head-on. Very lucky. Very lucky. If that thing hits us head-on, Merry Christmas. It's over. Sayonara. It's over. Acabó. It's finished. And of course, with the crumbling infrastructure we have. Okay. The coronal mass ejection from the sun wasn't due to hit the planet. Predicted it could graze our planet's magnetic field. As a result, there was a possibility of a minor geomagnetic storm, and high latitude auroras would occur, sending our electric systems into chaos. So there it is right there, guys. Oh, it's 16 seconds long. So let's look at the ejection here. Take a look at this. So it's not just military. There it goes. Wow! So that hits the Earth. That sends look at that. Look at how it retracts back. Look how it goes back in. Watch this, guys. So you can see how it has a magnetic, kind of like a static retraction to it. You see how it's bringing it back? See how it retracts? That gets sent out. That hits us on Earth. We're toast. It's already hit us, I think, in the 1890s or 1850s. We're going to look at that in a second. Let's look at this again. Look at this, guys. Here it goes. Look at that. So that was spotted, and it just grazed our Earth. Wow. Especially with COVID, all we needed in 2020 was one of these. So let's move on. The sun emitted the biggest solar flare in years, and more will be flung to Earth. The Independent employs over 100 journalists. Okay, the most powerful solar flare in 3 years was expelled by the sun on Sunday. So this is actually very important because it's not just military. Oh, if they threw an MPC, an EMP, or whatever, and a magnetic weapon that could just take out our, Now, let's take this on our chessboard. We got our chessboard right now. Everything's moving around. America's weak right now because they're having issues politically or political issues on the ground. Okay, fine, fair enough. Other countries are moving around. Let's just say an EMP hits the Earth. Let's say it's daytime in Asia. Let's say it's daytime in Asia. And it's coming that way. Okay? I don't know how many seconds it takes for it to arrive. But let's say it hits Asia. China gets taken out. Philippines. Japan. Australia. They get wiped out by this solar flare. Right? Let's say. What is it, or what doesn't, the other country, let's say the other countries, let's say China, for example, says, screw that. We're going to send something over to the U.S. There's no way this hit us and it was a fluke. So they're going to start blaming each other for a corona ejection if that was to happen. So if one side of the Earth gets hit by it, the other side is free, but then you're going to see conflict between the two sides. They're going to be blaming each other. And that's just the world we live in today. We never look at science anymore, and like global warming, we start looking at science, it doesn't, or global, well, yeah, they changed it to climate change because it doesn't make any sense. So, and the same thing with this whole COVID and what else? The ISIL, whatever they change their name to every week. So let's keep going here. San Antonio coalition takes aim at electromagnetic threats. A diverse group of stakeholders around the Texas city is researching the resilience of the grid infrastructure, focusing on how best to defend against natural, man-made electromagnetic disturbances. And this is it right here. It's called the Carrington Event. The Carrington Event. The Carrington Event, guys, pay attention. This is important, okay? Carrington Event was a powerful geomagnetic storm on September 1st and 2nd, 1859, during the solar cycle 10. In 1855 to 1867, a solar coronal mass ejection, look at that there, look at the picture of that, CME hit the Earth's magnetosphere and induced the largest geomagnetic storm on record. That's what it looked like. The associated while light flame in the solar photosphere was observed and recorded by British astronomers Richard Carrington and Richard Hodgson. The storm caused a strong auroral display and wrought havoc with telegraph systems. So telegraph systems got burnt to a crisp. The no standard unique IAU identifier for this flare is a SOL 1859. Okay, the solar storm of this magnitude, according to today, would cause a widespread of electrical disturbances, blackouts, and damage extended to outages and electrical grid. The solar storm of 2012 was similar to the magnitude, so let's go to the solar storm of 2012 right here. Is it solar cycle 10? No, that's solar cycle 10. Solar cycle 10 was in is the 10th solar cycle since 1755, right? That's when the Earth started to warm up just a bit after one of the cooling cycles we had back in the 1700s. You could go back to the Little Ice Age if you want, during the Dark Ages. Solar storm of 2012. Solar storm of 2012 was an unusually large and strong coronal mass ejection event that occurred on July 23rd of that year. It missed the Earth. With a margin of approximately 9 days. You guys have no idea how lucky we are. This would have blacked out one side of the Earth would have got hit. One side would have got hit with it. It depends who's lucky, right? It's like a flip of a coin. Let's move on. Life without electricity. Let me go to my highlighted section. A poll revealed that 50%, 50 points of the public said they would not be able to survive for more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, a staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months, they would be dead. Yeah, they would be dead. And this is a major issue. And aging power grid overload, U.S. demands more electricity. And this is an article from 2012. So this is the aging power grid in the United States is been in there's about 600 million people in North America, including Mexico, that are under this crumbling power grid. And America's vulnerable energy grid, the old dirty creaky US electric grid, would cost $5 trillion to replace. Where should infrastructure spending go? And you know, lately there hasn't been much. And then I got some ideas here for you guys. If you are looking for some sort of backup technique. Guys, next week's Mike in the Night is preparedness. I'm going to show you guys my bug out bag. Let's talk about setting up survival. Let's actually start finding solutions on the channel and start setting people up. Like something like this will be good for your average backpacker. Something like this, if it works fine, it's really good. You could plug in your phone. Look at that. You could plug your phone in. You could get this rolling with you as you're traveling and stuff. It folds up nicely, and I think it's just absolutely fantastic something. Look at all the 5-star reviews. So I think it's something that Oh, it's from Wish. Wish is crap. All right, let's move on. Solar charger bank. So these are things that you guys should start looking at, especially a radio. One of those crank radios. A crank radio is an important thing to have. Solar power radio, solar power flashlight, solar power. These mini panels are really good. I got a few of these. I'm going to be taking them with me to the Philippines because the power there is very sporadic, especially on the island. All right, let's get our first caller in. Let me see if Supreme Cannon's internet's working. I hope he's been listening to the show and knows what we're talking about. And this is very, very... Lord Humongous says, Mike, we can't find solutions. The world government clowns have them all. Have all of them. No, that's the point. The point is not going... It's just kind of like just unplug from what they're telling you. Cancel your cable. You want to cure all this crap, or you want this crap to leave? Cancel your cable. Come on, Mike in the night. All right. Okay, let's get somebody on the show. Survival tactics, survivalness. What are you going to do to survive? What can you do? If we get hit with one of those, okay, it doesn't have to be military. I've read several reports that the sun is going to get a lot warmer. And they're going to blame us and our carbon footprint and then this and that. And no one looks at the scientific research on why. What's the point of science? What the heck is the point of science? What, did they invent science so they could debunk religion? Is that what it was for? Grant Bennett is saying, yes, Mike Martins. Wait, Lord Humongous said something. Lord Humongous says, I've been unplugged for a decade. Lord, get into an area where I could call you. I know you're with family, you're busy, you're out and about. Let me know, if I could talk, we could talk for a little bit and let us know. Oh yeah, his Skype is on. Let me call him and ask him what his opinion is on a solar.
Yo.
What's up, Lord?
Mikey.
What's up, buddy? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Good to hear from you. So how are things in California?
I came back. I'm back in the wasteland. I left on Tuesday.
Oh, you're back in Colorado?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got your request to make that sweater, so I'm just trying to find something licensed that I could use.
Yeah, Dano says he'll draw it up. He'll draw up the artwork so it doesn't have to be licensed. It's original art.
Okay, but get him to do that and send it to me in high quality, and I'll make a sweater.
That would be awesome. We need to have some sweaters, because of the global warming. So I have to make sure I'm...
No, the global cooling, because they're going to change that. No, was it global cooling? No, it was global warming, but now it's getting cooler, but then they changed it to climate change.
Yes, but Greta Thunberg says, how dare you? So now it's global warming again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Lord.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to get an MPC, or what do you call it, EPC? What do you call it, attack? Or do you think it's going to be the sun? Because the sun's...
It's called an EMP. It's electromagnetic pulse. Yeah. And it's usually through a nuclear device shot above the atmosphere that would create something like that. And no, I do not think that we would get one of those unless it was instituted as an inside job by our own governments.
Okay. That's actually probably the best. That's probably the best answer. Now, let me ask you. So let's go over here about the fallout of some of these things and the range that China has here. I'm looking at this, and China's got a lot. This could be the new. I mean, we're in an economic war now. We're in an economic takeover right now. What do you think is next? Do you see a food shortage or rolling blackouts next?
Well, we've already seen food shortages, haven't we, Mike, with the destruction of the middle class and the destruction of California and the small businesses through this COVID lie?
Okay, I'm talking about food shortage where I go to a supermarket and it's empty. That's what I mean. Like, I go to a supermarket now. There's still food, right? Do you see a food shortage, a farming issue happening where they're going to blame that on whatever and create this chain of events where food or you think it's going to be? I see rolling blackouts coming first. That's just me.
Yeah, when I was out in California, they were already talking about those for Thanksgiving. So they actually had the east side of San Fernando Valley was shut down and people lost power there. Yeah, they control it all, Mike. We all live on a big microchip, man. It's all a big game for these idiots. It's all through mathematics. These idiots that think crypto is going to be their savior, that's going to make them rich somehow, they're completely delusional, in my opinion. You know, I disagree with Max Kaiser and Bitcoin and that crypto technology till forever.
I thought you guys were friends.
I listened to. He's good on a lot of the old fiat stuff, but they're trying to. This whole thing's all integrated with everything, Mike. It's AI. It's high frequency trading computers, 5G, just so these assholes can have their control grid and control and take away the rest of us our freedoms, our God-given freedoms, our human rights. This is what they're trying to construct around everybody, and it doesn't matter what country you live in or what allegiance you swear to. It's all about smart contracts in the future, AI connected to bitcoins and smart technologies and smart contracts. It's this is what they're
smart
pushing,
cities.
Mike. Smart cities. What kind of sick person or individual can think of something that evil?
Imagine. It reminds me of Mr. Burns at the power plant in Springfield.
No, Mr. Burns isn't even that bad.
No, he goes, Smithers. I go be like, Smithers. It's Thanksgiving. Yeah. Let's turn the power plant off for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's Lord Rothschild and his PG&E out in California Power Company. There you go.
So what do you have for preparedness at the house? What do you have for solar? Do you have any solar panel backup stuff, just stuff, portable stuff?
I just ordered my phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range, and it will be used against 5G.
Can you explain what that does?
Yeah, it sends a pulse. It's a magnetic pulse rifle. So I'll be blowing out all these 5G towers once they set them up.
Wow. Well, make a video for us.
I don't know if I'll be in combat mode at that point, Mike.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know how far that was how far you had to be to use that when it comes to the situation.
Yeah, I don't think any YouTube's going to be on at that point. I don't think it'll be televised either.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We got the dark winter coming up, as Joe Biden says, right?
The dark winter, yes, the dark winter, where where it's basically the disappearance of the middle class. That's just my opinion. Is you're going to see a lot of Americans lose their homes next year.
Oh yeah, they're already losing them now. They're just not televising it, and they're not telling the real numbers. Just like they don't tell the real numbers on anything that this government pumps out.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't tell this to the. If they tell this to the Canadian government, the Canadian government's going to send some money to Mars.
Listen, I swore my oath, which was to the Constitution of these United States. I did not swear that oath to this deep state or that crappy, evil government that runs underneath of it.
Listen, Lord, I want to say something, please.
What?
God-given right. Right?
God-given rights. Exactly.
Your God-given right. What is your God-given right?
Those are all the natural rights that you possess at birth.
And you're what's the number one God-given right when you're born? The
right to cry and free speech and whine and
free
cry.
Speech. Yeah. Free speech. Now, what is the state trying to get rid of?
The Second Amendment, because that one backs up the first. So that's why Biden coming out with his gun grabbing BS again.
They're trying to get rid of God in religion. I've already had 2 people come to me and said, "Oh, I saw you on YouTube, and I think you're mentally ill because you believe in God." I'm like, okay. So if they take away God, you have no more God-given rights, right?
Well, that's not true, because that's only if you believe what other people tell you. That's
I don't believe what other people tell me. I don't even care what other people tell me. But I'm just saying. But if they take away from these people, like these people who think, "Oh, I don't believe in God," okay, that's great. But you have a God-given right at birth, and that is to speak. If they take away that, then because God trumps everything, and then your God-given right from God, or from the highest level that we could give it, is your voice, Lord.
Exactly. That's why I've been using it for 25 years, being called a conspiracy theorist. Yeah. Because these conspiracy theories do exist. Just like, oh, there's no vote fraud, was there, Mike? Nah, couldn't be.
Oh, well, anything that goes against the status quo is a conspiracy theorist.
CNN told us that Biden was the winner that night. You know, it's amazing how stupid people are.
CNN News, that thing's still up and running?
Yeah, just like Dominion Software out of Canada in Toronto, right?
Yeah. No, that company went bankrupt last week.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
It's all tied in, Mike. That's what I'm trying to tell people, man. Wake your ass up, people. Quit believing all the garbage you see on TV, on the internet, on the news, the mainstream media, the propaganda, communist in nature, I might say. Yeah, no, we're going to be in a fight. You know, sheep are dangerous, Mike, when they've been trained their whole lives to think a certain way and they can't critically think with their God-given right. Their brain, they don't know how to use it.
Well, if they take God out, they remove the 10 Commandments in Michigan. I think they removed the 10 Commandments in Virginia. They removed the 10 Commandments, I think, in West Virginia. And okay, and this way, if there's no God, there's nothing to trump, right? So nothing gets trumped.
Exactly. Yeah. Then the Satanists can put up their 10 Commandments.
They could put up their after-school Satan clubs.
Yeah, and the Baphomet statues and all that. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I told someone the other day. This is why I don't talk to no one but you and people on this channel. I told someone the other day, yeah, the after school Satan club is not shut down for COVID. They're still open for whatever, but other churches can't be open. But the after school Satan club is open, and people are looking. They don't have that. You're such a conspiracy. I'm like, holy crap! It's publicized in Michigan, and it's open to the public.
I couldn't believe that. I mean, whatever. It's freedom of religion, though, right? So I guess if one wants to be an evil Satanist, I guess that's their religion, right? I have to, as an American that believes in God, I have to allow these idiots to believe in their follower or their leader.
Of course, right? Of course. Well, because if there's no good, there's no bad, and if there's no bad, there's no good, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just like you got to have a villain and the good guys, right?
A balance.
See, that's why I am the Lord Humongous, because in the movie he portrayed a villain, but I really think he was a good guy. He was really trying to fight for the people of the wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he was portrayed in a wrong light in that movie. I think Mad Max was the bad guy.
Was that your phone?
Yeah.
Someone messaging you? Okay, Lord, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll talk very soon, okay?
Yeah, get that hoodie going though. I really want. My mom wants to buy one.
Okay,
I got a big
just get Dano to get that art. Scan it at 4K capacity. Tell him to send it to me, and it's a full file, and I'll make the hoodie on the spot for you.
Well, he said he was going to call in tonight.
Oh, well, I'll call him later.
All right, cool.
Okay, God bless you.
God bless. Peace.
Thank you. That is Lord Humongous. He does have some preparedness available. So let's go over our top stories before we get in. We get a lot of people joining us now. Let's go back to article scan. So, Power Grid, are you ready? Are you prepared? Like Lord Humongous was in California last week, and they were saying we're going to have rolling blackouts. What do you guys figure? Let me know in the comments. Next, is it going to be a food shortage or a food problems with distribution of food, or we're going to see a problem with power? Which one comes first? Which chess piece is going to move on the board next? So Russia moves its most powerful electronic warfare system close to the border with Finland. That's why we had the crazy Russian guy on the Finnish side, on the Finland side, trying to see what was happening here on the Finland border here. He was in Lappeenranta. He was in Lappeenranta, Finland, to see. He said he could see some of this stuff with his binoculars, so he wasn't too sure. But it got dark and he couldn't see. Guys, don't forget the riots are still happening here. Riots are still happening in Paris. So a lot of disruption in Paris. Lots of stuff burning in Paris. Lots of problems in Paris. So this is still happening. And almost nothing or nobody is reporting on this because they're trying to pass these unhumane laws. But then you go 3 countries to the west. Portugal makes it unlawful for lockdowns. Portugal makes it illegal for lockdowns. Portugal makes it against people's freedom and liberties, and basically passes it in their courts that's it. Because of the system, because of this. We read it here. Tested for COVID? Be sure to ask this question. What cycle threshold CT value for that test? And that's what they were testing in Portugal, and they found out it amounted to almost nothing. So it made no sense. So there's countries doing the right thing, which you're not going to hear about, and then there's countries that are fighting for what they have left. And France has been crippled with austerity and all kinds of and then you got they call them the anarchists there in Europe when the government decides to raise taxes or put on a new levy or a new tax. This whole thing started because of them raising taxes. So what? You're an anarchist because you don't want to give the government all your money? Give me a break. So this is China, has EMP technology right here. They have capability to meet U.S. power, to melt the U.S. power grid with electromagnetic pulse weapons. EMP. Okay, DHS combats potential electromagnetic pulse attack. And biggest solar flare in years. So it's not just military, it is these Corona ejections. Depending on when it's daytime or night or what part of the world you're going to get hit. If you get hit by one of these, we were lucky in 2001. We were lucky that it missed the Earth by 9 days. We would have been so screwed if something like that, this just missed us again. If we get hit by one of these, bar the door, Katie, it's over. You're going to be in real lockdown with no debit machines working, no computers working, no electronics. That's why you got to get a wind up, crank up radio. I got a couple of walkie-talkies, and I might get a ham radio to see if I could, talk to somebody in New Jersey from here, or to talk to somebody in maybe overseas to find out what's going on, right? So watch out for that. The sun emitted its biggest solar flare in years, and more will be flung at Earth. Watch out, people. San Antonio Coalition takes aim at electronic threats. And then this was the biggest, the Carrington Event in 1859. Solar Cycle 10, that was the end of the beginning of the solar cycle from 1755. And remember, the sun has its own elliptic orbit. And life without electricity. So it is, a poll revealed that 50% of the public said they would not be able to survive for more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, a staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months they would be dead. Dead. And aging power grid on overload as U.S. demands more electricity. America's vulnerable electrical grid. The old, dirty, creaky U.S. electrical grid will cost $5 trillion to replace. Where should infrastructure spending go? And I kind of wanted to throw that out there. So we're looking at ideas like these solar lights that you could put in your backyard. And look at this. Look at this thing. Look at that. You could light up all solar. You're not so dependent on the grid. Things like this. So we're looking at ideas of things you could have. Isn't there a charger that works with firewood, that you burn wood inside and then the power generated? I remember seeing that online. Somebody in the comments tell me what that was. We could look that up, and you plug your USB and it charges your devices. Is it this? The Electroflow portable station? No, what is this thing? Oh, this thing I think plugs in to your up to 13 devices, recharges 0 to 80% in 1 hour. Wow. Extreme technology empowers Delta 1300 recharge at 10 times the speed of most portable power. It's a portable power station, but it allows you, it's got 2 5-star reviews. This is something, it's pricey, but this could be something. Look, it plugs in your USBs. Oh, wow. Look at that. Built-in fans for overheating. What's the time on this? How long 10 hours, I think. Delta 13 can be fully charged by solar panels in 4 hours and fully charged through 12 by 24 volt carport in 10 hours. Power 13 devices simultaneously. Delta 13 fits with every port you'll ever need and power any devices anywhere, so you always feel right at home. Wow. There it is right there, folks. I'm not advertising. I don't even know. I just saw this for the first time in my life. And it is, look at this. There she is charging it with solar panels right there. So, guys, start thinking solutions now. Next week, we're gonna talk bug out bags and preparedness. If you have to get out of your place or where you're held up or where you're bugging out at home, or especially if you live in a condo tower, you got no backyard. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna catch rain? So lots of good stuff here, guys, to look at. Let's find out. Let's find out from someone else. Let's call somebody else. You're watching Mike in the Night. People of the Night, welcome to Mike in the Night. Okay, who are we going to have on now? Energy-powered preparedness. How long could we live without power? We got a lot we could talk about here. There's a lot we could... Oh, Stephen Williams is calling. Yo, Stephen, what's up, brother? Hello, Stephen?
Hello?
Stephen Williams, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Nada, man. Listen, okay, let me ask you. Are you prepared for an electrical shutdown? Are you there? Stephen?
Oh, it's kind of delayed. That's why I'm confused.
Okay, to turn off the show so you can talk to me directly.
Yeah, okay, good. I did that, yeah.
Perfect.
So what's up, bro? What's up? Boy, I tell you, I respect you, man. You just keep pounding away. You're so interesting. Your show is so good, man.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to check the Stephen Williams channel. He's got some good content. I saw the one you put up yesterday. Now, Stephen, we're talking about tonight the downing of the electrical system. Now, they're engineering a lot of stuff. A lot of people above us are engineering stuff. And I'm afraid the next step might be a rolling blackouts or a food shortage. What do you see happening first, Stephen?
Mike, I'm scared to even think of it. But I would more say, well, they're giving us a clue about a dark winter. So I wonder what they mean by a dark winter.
Right.
And yeah, I'm wondering if these people have a nefarious plan, because you know what I noticed, Mike? A lot of time these guys give us codes and clues, both from what they say as well as the movies that they make. I have watched 3 movies. That one is To the Lake on Netflix, Contagion, and there's another one called The Barrier. Man, you guys need to watch these movies because they're telling us. I mean, when I watch these movies and I look at what is happening, are exact. You see, even the very military that they're going to use.
Well, Stephen.
Yes.
It's a blueprint.
It is. It is.
It's just a blueprint, and they're following the guidelines, or they're keeping within their parameters. Now, here's the deal with that. Now, let me read a poll survey here for you. A poll revealed that 50% of the public said they would not be able to survive more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, a staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months they would be dead.
Mike, let me tell you something. Everything that you see is happening.
Right.
We are like caged birds or animals.
You said that in your show, on your channel.
Yeah, because look here, I would love to move to a country like Portugal, Jamaica, Panama. I would like to just up and leave, right? They're making it so difficult right now to even travel, and they're making sure that the other countries have the similar rules. So I have always said to my family, I can survive in the bushes in Jamaica. I cannot survive in Canada for 6 if anything goes wrong here. Just the cold alone would kill us, because we are dependent on the grid. It's just the other day my wife and I were saying we need to buy like a gas stove or wooden thing to keep you warm, and things like that. And I remember the first shutdown, I went out and I bought some wood. Well, I use it in the summer to do some barbecue. But how would I do that in my house without burning down the house? So
You don't have and you don't have a see. When I bought this house, when I bought my home, I made sure it had 2 fireplaces in it.
that's excellent thinking because I don't have that luxury. And I think if you stop to think carefully, this time calls for resilience. It calls for independent living, where you live totally without money. You live like the birds and the animals. They just eat and have somewhere to rest there. They don't depend on money and they don't depend on anything. But we as human beings, they have so ensnared us in a system that we have to live on independence on the government for everything. But if we study the birds and the animals, we need to take lessons from these creatures because we can become like them, because all you really need is your food and a shelter.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We covered this on the show 3 years ago. Maslow's hierarchy of needs and wants. I need a home so I don't die from nature. I want a Lamborghini so I can look cool.
Yeah. Yes. Right. So, if what you say, it's like I say, it's very difficult living in these North American countries with snow and cold. Where already it's snowing, it's cold outside. I mean, I want to get up and go outside to run up and down. I have to run back indoors, or sometimes go to the mall and just to get a little exercise because I'm getting fat. I'm laying down every day. My eyes getting dim because I'm watching so much of Mike Martin's channel. And I am watching so much, absorbing so much stuff on the. Plus, I don't work, so I'm home every day, absorbing a lot of things. But these things are not healthy. You get what I'm saying?
I understand. And with them, and with it's almost like they're taking away our right to say what we feel, or our opinion, or our criticism, or whether we're criticizing something, or whether we're helping something, or whether we're scientifically. I'm not understanding anything. Like, we're always going against. We never use science when it comes to when we start looking at climate change. They never look at science for it, because when you look at science, it just kind of debunks it itself, right?
Yeah.
When you look at other things, like all these other things, it's like science to me. They don't use science for better pharmacy or pharmaceutical or to better our lives. They just use, in my opinion, they just invented science, or science is there to debunk religion, and that's it. That's all they use science for. And that's what they think, they don't use it for better for us, right? If anything, everything and anything that's there is created to go against us, or against, like you said earlier in the conversation, they've ensnared us in this grid, this matrix.
Yes.
Right? So we walk up the street to buy a loaf of bread. Well, if you can't make your own bread, you're dead.
Yeah.
That kind of rhymes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me say something. You mentioned that they are taking away our rights, and I beg to differ with you. And here's why I differ with you.
Go ahead, please.
They are not taking away our rights. We are giving up our rights because we're dumb, we're stupid, we are like sheep, we are brain dead, we don't know the Constitution. No amount of order supersede our rights of the Constitution. And if you know your rights, when the police or the bylaw person come and you show them your rights, they can write their ticket, but you can fight that in the court. Mm-hmm. I love to watch Rebel News. But the problem is we have become so brain dead by the programming of the media and the scare tactics that they're using, that right now we have just given up. Everybody just is going along. But I think, you know what I think, Mike? I think the pot is boiling. When people can take no more, they're going to push back.
Did you see what happened in France?
Yeah, yeah.
I was showing you in the video. No one's talking about what's happening in France. The country's...
They don't want anybody to see it because they don't want it start spreading. Because once they show that, it's going to start spread. That's why channels like yours and mine and many other channels, we have to go to BitChute and those places, because when you talk about these things, it angered them because they're listening and they're going to do everything to contain you. I mean, oh my gosh, when I look at the work you're doing, I say it every day, the work you're doing, you should have about 2 million subscribers, because you have good content, you have interesting discussion, and you're not saying any conspiracy, anything. You're highlighting what is happening in the news, and your channel is being highly, highly shadow banned, because I mean, there's no way a person like with a that you can be at 13,000. It's just absolutely madness, because they don't want you to spread certain things, so they contain us, and that is what the media they are doing. The YouTube, the Google, all of them, the Facebook. Even now, when I make a post on Facebook, it has to go through some fact checking and administrator. There was a time I thought I live in a democracy.
Get on Parler.
Huh?
Parler. I'm on Parler. I'll put a link for Parler in the comments. Everyone, half the people in the chat right now on this live chat, they're on Parler right now, and I add them back. It's like Facebook when it started, and you post whatever you want. Everyone's posting things that I've never seen anywhere else but on Parler. It's called Parler. Steven, I'll put the link in the comments later. Start an account. It's free. It's exactly like Facebook, but you're going to see stuff on your timeline that's, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, what is this? And you don't see it on Facebook anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No, man, these days Facebook is. That's why a friend of mine called the FBI book, the Dollar Vigilante. I love to watch these guys, and even my guy there, WAM, World Alternative Media. They're getting rid of everybody who goes against the narrative, as I've always said. If you're not with the program, they're going to. That is why, you notice how most of these government officials are going along. Some of them know that they're lying. Because, Mike, listen to this. I used to be serve as chaplain assistant to a guy who works at 2 senior homes. And these are senior homes in Mississauga, and there's another one. I forget where exactly it is, but there are 2 large senior homes with hundreds of people, of old senior people. And I say, something? They're saying every day, oh, the numbers are going up. Oh, the numbers are going up. And I called the guy and I said, let me ask you a question. Have you lost anyone? Have you, since the outbreak of this thing from March, have you lost one? He says, Stephen, not even one infection. Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing in the senior home.
And this is why now, Stephen, I'm gonna counter argue what you said about not taking away. Is people are afraid of losing their income, their jobs, or their way of life. If anyone from that nursing home speaks and goes on the media and says that no one has died in this nursing home from this since March, then they're worried of losing their jobs.
I know. That's why I just talked to him on the phone. I don't talk to him publicly. Then look at this. Look at this for your listeners and yourself. Look at this. They say recently that the flu, because people are keeping their distancing and they're following the COVID rules, washing their hands, blah, 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 masking and all of that. The cold, nobody's catching the cold this winter, okay?
Yes.
At the same time, the coronavirus has suddenly spiked. And both of them tend to be similar in nature because both of them are coronavirus. Now, you look at that and see if they don't think all of us are stupid and we're idiots to be believing these numbers. Where are they getting these numbers from? They manufacture these numbers.
Right.
To drive the public in. And it's even Jason Kenney, was agreeing with a lot of what we were saying. He's not as bullish as our premier here in Ontario. But these guys are just puppets of an elite system that is trying to conquer the world. I don't know what the hell these people want. Why they want to just infringe on people's freedom.
But Stephen, it goes back to last week's show and the week before and the week before. I probably have 20 good years left in my life. What the hell do they care? And why are they going to pay so much money to track me, follow me, and do it? Why? I'm going to be dead. Who cares?
You understand? That's what I'm saying. Leave us. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I don't know how long God is going to have me on this earth. Why do you want to get rid of people so badly? And Bill Gates, he is the one who everybody is up in arms against, because this guy publicly states that he wants to be indemnified if he says 1 in 10,000 may die from the vaccine. And he wants to vaccinate the world. That's 750,000. It's no big deal to him, because guess what? He has a lot of money, right? He can commit mass suicide and it's okay. And he wants, on top of that, when you're vaccinated, that he is indemnified. You can't sue the vaccine company.
You can't. In Canada, they pass laws for that and all that stuff.
Jesus. But don't you see we're in trouble? We're in big trouble in this world. But as a spiritual person, I know what is upcoming. It is a spiritual warfare, as the gentleman before, I would think, what you call his name, you just ended with him.
Lord Humongous. Now, let's talk spiritual for a second here, my man Stephen. Hold on a sec. Now, here's the deal. For the longest time, they've been trying to get rid of God. Okay, they've been trying to get rid of God forever. They removed the 10 Commandments from Michigan and in Virginia. They removed the 10 Commandments from there. They removed all relics of, you know what I'm saying, all this stuff. The reason why they're doing that is if you remove God, right, if God doesn't exist, or they remove God from the equation, you no longer have your God-given rights. Your number one right given to you, not man. The law of man means nothing. It's your God-given right at birth to speak. Your God-given right to announce, discuss, project. That's your God-given right.
Speech.
Once they get rid of God, there will be what God-given rights? God doesn't exist. So then they try to trump it, right? Now, the great Mr. Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but ourselves could free our minds. Basically, what you said earlier, that matrix we're in, is this we need to emancipate from the mental slavery we've built in ourselves and the mental divide we've created in our own minds. Whether it's black against white, or whether it's global warming and global cooling, whether it's this, whether it's that, we are creating these mental divides in ourselves. Unless we emancipate from it, and
how do you emancipate yourself? You got to stop.
First, cancel your cable. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Cancel your cable.
Well,
no more cable.
But stop watching the mainstream media, because I don't use cable, but I get them on my YouTube screen as I open my YouTube. I don't see Mike. I see they plaster every website you go. The first thing they want to update you on is the COVID, to drive fear into you. And I say, I'm a child of God. I don't encourage a spirit of fear. I tell my kids, don't be fearful. Don't worry yourself. God will take care of you. And if he chooses, he says, don't be afraid of the man who can destroy your body, but he cannot destroy your spirit and your soul. Fear God, who can destroy body, spirit, mind, and soul. So they can do what they want with our bodies, because see, the agenda right now is to, I mean, the only thing, Mike, that you and I really possess is our bodies.
Right.
Because if you have a house, you're gonna pay, even if you pay it off, it's gonna be taxes for the rest of your life. So it's not even, and if you don't pay those taxes, you're gonna lose your house same way. Same way with a mortgage.
Right.
So you own nothing really in this life, right?
And you take nothing with you to the next life.
Eh?
And you take nothing with you to the next life.
Exactly. And so, even your kids, the state own them. That's why they have the birth certificate. So we really own nothing except our little bodies. My God, you want to invade that with something? We're healthy, we're strong. You're supposed to be vaccinating. Okay, look at this, Mike. If you are concerned about COVID, yeah, you take the vaccine. You protect yourself. When you protect yourself, I am not going to be affecting you again.
It's like Richard Pryor. Protected. Do you remember Richard?
So why do you want to protect? Why do you want to push the vaccine on somebody who don't care for it? Well, and that's what they're trying to do.
Richard Pryor said the same thing. Richard Pryor said in a stand-up, God rest his soul, 20, 30 years ago, he had a stand up and says, why do I got to get vaccinated for measles? I don't have vaccination for measles, so people shouldn't be scared if I'm not vaccinated because they're vaccinated, so they're protected.
Exactly. Logically. So
Right.
why you want to vaccinate healthy people? Why do you want to quarantine healthy people? Why do you want to talk about people are asymptomatic so then they can be passing around the virus? And most of it is bullshit because you want to give people a reason to take your test so you can shove up something in there. God knows with these days of nanotechnology, what the hell you're shoving up their brain. I mean, I see one girl get this thing driven up her brain, my friend. I'm going to tell you that the girl screamed like it was going out of style. Mm-hmm. Yeah? It's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to go through that shit, especially if you're not emitting signs. But they'll come up with the little deception to say, and you know, as I talk about deception, going back to the Bible, when the disciples asked Jesus in Matthew 24, what will be the sign of your coming? Did you know that the first thing I keep saying to people that Jesus said? Be careful that nobody deceive you. Why? Why did Jesus say that? Of all the things he mentioned was be careful that you are not deceived. Why? Because deception is going to abound. Lies and deception is going to abound, and that's what we're seeing. He talks about pestilence, which means pandemic. So the pandemic is real, but they are using it and they've released it upon us as to fulfill an agenda. I don't say if COVID not real because a family of mine catch it in Florida, but they overcame it. With two little girls. I was concerned.
Yeah. I was sick last December. I was sick like a dog. I couldn't breathe. I went to the hospital twice. They didn't know what I had. Right? Mm-hmm. And I went home, and then the second time I got it was a few weeks after. I thought I was going to die. And I got my will done, and my wife got it, and she had to go to the hospital. And they said, we don't know what you have. Mm-hmm. You know? So this, because Canada's predominantly Chinese, obviously it came over. I'm not blaming. I'm just saying it's just you put two and two together. You get, Antarctica got no cases because there's, you know what I'm saying, right? But you put the math, you do the math, you always get the answer. Math never lies. All right, Steven, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. It's been 21 minutes, buddy, and I'm gonna do a show next week. Preparedness. Maybe you could come on.
Let me say something before you go, Mike.
Yeah.
Just want to say to people, if you suspect that you have this thing, go and boil a pot of water and just cover up yourself with a towel and inhale that steam. It kills everything. Bacteria, COVID, everything. That's what I did the other day when I felt like something was coming out to me. I was having a headache.
You can also put a little bit of lemon, like real lemon, squirt it into the hot water.
I didn't put anything. If I had eucalyptus oil, I would have used it.
Yeah.
Just the steam alone, breathe it in. And you're good. It kills everything because they say the COVID-19 virus hates that. And that's all you need.
That's all, yeah.
That's all you need, man. Come on. Anyway, nice talking to you.
Yeah, Mike. Steven, God bless you. I'm going to plug your channel now. Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, look more.
Yeah, man. Bless.
All right. That is Steven Williams, our man. So this is his channel here, guys. Don't forget to... He put up a really good video. I saw it yesterday. There is nowhere to run or hide. So check out the Steven Williams channel. He puts up stuff on a week, like 3 times a week he puts up stuff. Yeah, 4 days a week. So he's putting up stuff all the time. So he's always putting up stuff. And this one looks good. I didn't see this one come up in my feed. What it's like living in Canada after 11 years. I want to watch that one later. I'm going to put it to my watch add to queue. I'm going to add to watch later. Oh. Here, add to watch later. I want to watch that one later. Okay, so that's the Steven Williams channel, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Good friend, a good personal friend of mine. And when I get back out east, I will visit him. And if he's not out east, and if he's somewhere in the Caribbean, I shall visit him there too. Okay, whoa, the comments are going too fast here. Red Pill Gary, colloidal silver kills, it cures a lot too. Yes, I have colloidal silver. Good call, Steven. Thank you. That's Layla. Hit the like button, says Grant Bennett. Papa Piss says missing about 300K for a good operation. $300,000 for an operation. Oh. Lord Humongous says, Steven, God bless you, brother. Then we got Supreme Cannon says, thanks, Steven. Old white guy. Oh my God, I haven't spoken to old white guy in a long time. I hope he's doing well. Old white guy is fine. Like, he's the type of guy who the electricity could be off for 3 months and you wouldn't even notice it. Oh, we have no power? How long has it been out? It's been out for 3 months. Huh, I haven't noticed. Trust me, old white guy is a man of the land. My side of the mountain. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that basically carves out a piece of land and lives off what he can and does what he has to. So we got Melissa Mohammed in the comments. Mitch Madden. Mitch Madden's in the house. Steven Sewell. Anthony Ruvalakaba. Thank you, buddy, for coming on. Okay, so what are we talking about? Well, originally we're talking about a disruption in the electronics in our ionosphere or systems, right? So let's go back here. So there it is. Let's go tonight's big stories. Let's just glance over them real quick, and we'll get to our next caller. Look at France. Let's play some of this. This is like a long video. So look at France. Look what's happening. No one's talking about this. Look at France. A couple of cars there. I mean, just very civil, a huge civil unrest happening right now across France. And, oh, he just jumped. Did he jump kick that guy? I think he just tried to jump kick that guy. Watch this. Guy, there he is. Boom. Tries to side kick the guy, but he's got a shield on him. Then we got a bunch of smoke. I don't know why these guys are painting themselves in the corner right here. I have no idea why they're doing that. I don't even know why. If I was there, I'd go, screw you guys. I'm going to go home and watch TV. What the hell is this? What am I doing here? Painting yourself in the corner for what? I don't know how long people are gonna deal with this in France. This is the Gilles de Jean. This has been going on for years. See, I have a French correspondent for the channel. He only speaks French and Portuguese. He doesn't speak English at all. At all. He only speaks French and Portuguese. Okay, so we got lots happening. Wow. That's one of the main, that's Rue de la... Wow, look how tall that guy is. Look at this guy, guys. He's not on stilts. Look at him. This guy's like look, the average guy here is like 5'9", 5'10". Look at this guy right here. He's not on a box or anything. Wow. So that's what's happening in France right now. I kind of wanted to make sure we're covering this so you guys know what's happening. Then we got, this is why we had the crazy Russian guy on 2 weeks ago. Somebody asked me, he's like, why would you get some guy along the Finland border with Russia outside of the town Lampingranta, basically, to go and check out the border, because this was happening. I found out this was happening. I was tipped off that this was happening before it was even published. So Russia moves its most powerful electric warfare system close to the border with Finland. So we got $5 from, who is this from? The Lloyd. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, man. God bless you. Thank you so much, the Lloyd. $5. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so that's why I had him there, and that's why he was along the border, because he said before it got dark, he could see some of this stuff with his binoculars, kinda. So this is very important, guys. China has first strike capability to melt U.S. power grid with electromagnetic pulse weapon. This is very important, guys. This is huge. Keep an eye on this, because the rolling blackouts, Lord Humongous in the comments, was in California last week, and he said they were talking about it, and when they start talking about it, I think blackouts come next, or rolling blackouts. Debit machines can't work, you can't buy fuel, and then you know how the story goes from there, right? DHS combats potential electromagnetic pulse. Biggest solar flare in 3 years is the sign the sun is waking up. This is a big deal. So it doesn't have to be military, especially when you're looking at these sunspot number progression is going up. The sun is going into a new cycle. You think the Earth has its cycle? The sun's got its own. And that's why we get these mini ice ages. Climate change, they want to call it now. So take a look at this corona flare. Look at this. Watch this. Look at that. Holy smokes. And look how it magnetically returns back. And that thing, if that thing hits Earth, it missed the Earth. This is the one from a few days ago. It missed us. All we need in 2020 is half our Earth, like one half of the Earth. I think that it's daytime on that side. We'll get hit by that. And then that could spark a war because all of China's things will be, or all of North America, or one of the sides, or Africa, wherever it gets hit, will get hit the hardest. And then they're going to start blaming each other for it. And you know how we are as humans, right? I mean, we can't negotiate ourselves out of a paper bag, right? And the sun emitted the biggest solar flare in years, and more will be flung to the Earth. And we got San Antonio Coalition takes aim at electromagnetic threats, and they've been testing it for electromagnetic disturbances. And this is the Carrington Effect. Basically, one of the biggest geomagnetic storms that we had in 1859. And if that hit us today, it even says here, a storm of this magnitude occurring today would cause a widespread of electrical disruptions, blackouts, and damage due to the extended outages and electrical grid. That's major. This is not a joke. This happened before, and luckily we were still on using telegraph. All the telegraph wires got fried with that. And that's the solar storm of 2012. Again, this missed us for about 9 days. Luckily, this missed us by 9 days. And if we got hit by this one, bar the door, Katie. It's over. Now, this is the question for tonight. I'm going to ask you guys, next caller I call. A poll revealed that 50% of the public said they would not be able to survive more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, a staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months we would be dead. That's some big words. That's huge. I mean, we're animals. We're humans. We have animal instincts, right? Can't we live off the land? We're not trained. We've been so, let's look at parts of, Africa. The more upper class areas of Africa, the average person goes through like 4 liters of water per day to bathe, to clean, to take care, wash dishes, 4 or 5 liters max per day. Here in the West, we go through a couple 170, 200 liters of water per day. So we are so in this lap of luxury right now that I don't think a lot of people have no idea on how to rub 2 sticks together to start a fire, to be honest with you guys. Or catch rain, or aging power grid on overload as U.S. demands more electricity. This is from 2012, by the way. America's vulnerable energy grid, 2007. So they've been talking about this. They've been warning us about this for a long time. The old, dirty, creaky U.S. electrical grid will cost $5 trillion to replace. Not 5 trillion pesos, 5 trillion American dollars. And I opened this up to give you guys ideas. We got to find solutions. There's all kinds. Ooh, look at this. Solar panel umbrella. Charge your phone while you're in the rain. Look at this. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of really cool stuff. I'm actually intrigued. I might even buy this and review it on the channel. Where's that thing? Where did that thing go? Whoa. Look at that. It's portable. It's got wheels, and you unpack it. That's amazing. See, this is what Canadian Tire has. They got stuff like this. You go to like a hardware store. They got stuff like this. Look. Boom. Plug it to your battery, your portable. You don't have to do this 100%. You could actually, there's another way of doing it. There's a way around this. And that was that portable generator thing I saw here. I kind of want to find that again because I might even buy it. Like, I might even buy this thing. Where'd it go? Where did you go? Right here. This thing looks amazing. The Delta 1300 portable station. So you charge this with your panel. Wow. It's got a lighter plug for it. It's got USBs. It's got FireWire for it. It looks like it has plugs for, like, you know, you plug your utilities and look at that. That's amazing. And it lasts for 10 hours on full, and it takes an hour to charge to plug in, and it takes 4 hours to charge through solar panels. And it doesn't look that big. You can power 13 devices, universal solar input for up to 400 watts, up to 6 1800 watts AC outlets, and recharge from 0 to 80% in 1 hour. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I'm intrigued by this. And I don't work for these guys, Delta, whoever these guys are. I have no idea who these guys are, but this looks good. This looks like an idea to have around the house, especially if you need, you know, if you need to hook up to the power. You know, people have, like, machines at home that they need to breathe with, or they need certain things, right? And, I mean, this might be a good thing to have, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's get our next caller in. Let's look at the, let's get Supreme on. Let's get Supreme Cannon on. Let me call Supreme, see if his internet's okay. His Skype is on.
Okay.
Yo, Supremo, what's up, brother?
Oh, this and that, you know, the usual.
Okay, what do you got? What do you got close to you? What do you have in your inventory of your at home? If things start to go south, electrical goes down, what do you have?
Oh, I got candles. I've got a couple of LED flashlights. I got lots of blankets and stuff. It's not an issue. I know where to get filtered water, and I think I've still got a Brita and about 5 filters that I set aside like 10 years ago when it looked like the banking system was about to collapse. And if I need anything more lethal, there are 2-3 people I know I could have something in my hands for cash in about 24 hours. So I'm not worried about any of that.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. Crumbling. Okay, what do you see first happening? This is in your opinion. A crumbling. So they've been like, how do you say, prophesizing the rolling blackouts for a long time now, and
Sure.
It's becoming the dark winter. We're starting to try to put 1 and 1 and 2 to do together and try and get some sort of answer of what's happening here. So, do you see rolling blackouts before a food shortage, or like, how do you think they're playing this out, Supreme, in your opinion?
Well, it depends where they focus the blackouts. They're going to focus on residential areas. I would think the commercial and retail areas, you know, warehouses and things like that, pumping the diesel to power the trains and the trucks is probably going to be the priority, just to keep food in the stores, right? You know, you can sleep with a blanket, but if you want food in the stores, well, they've got to have power. There are some places that have generators too. Over across the Shuswap Lake from where I live, when they have power outages, which is fairly regular when there's wet snow, there's a supermarket over there that actually has a generator. So there's a place like 10 minutes from my shop where they've got hot coffee and groceries and stuff like that. I think they would prioritize keeping the supply chain going, even if people have to pee in a bucket for a couple of days.
So that little blurb that I read here, and this is something it's been talked about for a long time. Life without electricity. A poll revealed that 50% of public said they will not be able to survive for more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving that our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, a staggering 75% predicted that they would be dead within 2 months. What do you say about that?
Well, I think they're kind of being drama queens.
Okay.
You know, like I mean, yes, water is an issue, but you're not going to stay in your 10th floor apartment if you can't get water. You're going to walk down the stairs and get in your car, or you're going to go to the park or a public fountain or wherever, whatever is still working, and you're going to go get yourself some water, right? Like you saw those pallets and pallets of water that were sitting on that abandoned runway in Puerto Rico after the big storm, you know, back 3 years ago. There's the military, the police, you know, the Goodwill, Samaritan's Purse, whatever. There's warehouses full of water. It would get to places where people could get it.
Okay.
When they had the big ice storms in Toronto, probably 8-10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had trucks come in and they had hot chocolate, and people were out with chainsaws clearing the down trees off the streets, and you know, just looking after each other.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will have what you need and they'll make it available. There's something about crises like that. The thing is, if you have a breakdown of law and order, and sometimes that's good, because if people do come into your neighborhood and start, you know, making trouble, there's no one there to punish you for punishing them.
That's correct.
Right? So a complete breakdown of law and order isn't happening. There's a lot of people that are just dying for the chance to inflict a little justice of their own. You know, so I think neighborhoods would tend to pull together in a case like that, and the people that could bug out would. They'd just get in the car and they'd head out of town until they hit somewhere where the lights were on.
We got Grindhouse Cartoons. That is Dano, art by Dano, saying power just went back on now. So he's in California and they're experiencing power outages on a very regular basis.
Well, their population is 40 million now. It's more than Canada. It's overbuilt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the part of the reason those wildfires were such a problem is they're pushing all these suburbs into places where it was just, you know, redwood forest.
No, that was started with a gender reveal party.
Well,
with firecrackers.
That's true. The gender reveal party was what set off the powder keg, but it wasn't the powder keg. It was a different kind of powder keg.
Right.
But it's not the powder keg that set off the wildfires. That was just stupidity. But there again, you got silly people moving into something that was just carved out of raw forest that hadn't been thinned out for years in you know, California, where it tends to get a little warm, I hear. Right? Like wildfires are a regular issue there because of the scrub, you know, the chaparral, the sage, and all the stuff that grows on the hills. The fires go through. That's what splits the seeds to get the next crop. So they have this problem on a regular basis. And now with all this overbuilding, it's just gotten worse. I've seen pictures of that PG&E grid. Some of those transmission towers were put up in 1918. You know, and
isn't that when the Irish went into a huge war? The North and the South?
I think when the Irish were trying to be independent, that's right about the time the PG&E was putting up the first towers. And they have these, I think they're called C hooks or something like that, where the resistors are suspended from.
That's correct.
The wires
you're right.
Yeah. And some of them have been so worn out and worn through from years of the wind blowing on them and vibration and things like that, that they actually had these kind of extra pieces that they bolted or clamped or welded on just to build them up, to keep them up. I mean, it's just PG&E in the end was just set up, and then it was just something to harvest money from. It was just a hedge fund that brought in cash, and they never fixed anything. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, PG&E. Yeah, they got busted for a few things over the years, right? That Aaron Brockovich story with the
that water scandal and that
hexylated chromium and now this grid. Yeah, they just don't spend their money on maintaining the grid, and there's probably a lot of bureaucracy at things.
Well, we got an article here that's
just lazy. Lazy.
Aging power grid overload, and we got America's vulnerable energy grid. And then we got the old, dirty, creaky U.S. electronic grid would cost $5 trillion to replace. Where should the infrastructure spending go? $5 trillion buckaroos to replace. That is, that's not pesos.
Yeah, that's right. $5 trillion bucks, but it doesn't have to happen all at once. I mean,
right.
You'd prioritize the oldest generating stations, the oldest transformer stations, right? The oldest, transmission towers, those high tension lines, that kind of a thing. They do get regularly inspected, but when you turn in an inspection report and well, it's not quite falling down yet. All right, well, we'll try it again next year. Things like right, like things like that are huge. You got to plan that kind of stuff, and no one's even talking about it, let alone planning. And everybody expects everybody else to pay for it. Well, where's our federal money to fix our grid? And it's like, screw you, Gavin. This is your problem, baby.
So we got Lou Guy in the comments.
California is not a wealthy province or state if it can't afford to maintain its own power grid. It's not wealthy at all, obviously.
Well, Lou Guy is saying millions without utilities. No, I just thought of that. Yeah, stuff. What are people going to do? Like with their phones, there's some people that are so psychologically tied to their electronics that if it was to go like dark overnight or something. Hold on.
Oh.
I don't know why somebody's calling me during the middle of my show, but hold on. I got to turn off my phone. I'm really sorry, Supreme.
Okay, yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, where the grid is concerned, yeah, I mean, between the federal and the state and the county levels, they need to coordinate and they need to come up with a list of priorities of what gets happening first. And if it's going to be 5 trillion and they just simply haven't got it or don't want to print it, then you know what? It's going to have to be something over the next 10 years. I mean, it didn't all fall apart in 10 years, and it's not going to get fixed in 10 years.
Okay, let me throw this at you. The sun emitted its biggest solar flare in years, and more will be flung at Earth. Now, hold on. This is the M4 flare. This is the big one. And this is actually a lot bigger deal than the media is not doing anything. They're really talking about this too much. But here is the one. I'm going to go into article scan here and show you guys this corona ejection here from a few days ago. This is billions of charged particles traveling at several million miles per second. Look at that. Several million miles, miles per hour.
It blows out and then gets magnetically sucked back in.
Back in, yeah. It was a million miles per hour. I'm sorry, guys. I got to correct myself there. But look at that there. We get hit by one of these. Now, let's go to the Carrington effect. I mean, what's to say that's not going to happen again? I mean, this is out of our control, right? I mean, are they going to blame COVID for this? Global warming? What gets blamed for the if we get another Carrington effect?
The usual suspects will spin it to the usual purposes, but it still. But
if Trump's not president, who's going to take the fall for this Carrington effect? So, guys, people just tuning in, the Carrington effect is a powerful geomagnetic storm we had on September 1st and 2nd in 1859. Luckily, we had no major electronics back in the day, but any existing electronics that we did have at the time were the telegraph lines that completely got cindered. Continues.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Carrington event. We were talking about that. You did a show on EMP and things like that last year. We were talking about
this last year. Yeah. That's right.
That's right. Yeah. No, it would be a huge problem. Sure, there'd be a lot of teen girls that couldn't support themselves with their IG and OnlyFans. I don't know what they do.
OnlyFans.
Right? That'd be awful. Yeah, there'd be a lot of gamer channels will go out. I don't know how PewDiePie will make a living without the grid, that kind of a thing. But they'll improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's all. People need to stop being such pussies anyway, don't they? Like, can't they break out the Monopoly and the chessboard and go pump some water? I mean, they have those spike wells. You drive them into the ground 2 or 3 rounds with basically a pipe or like a fence post pounder, and then you got a little solar pump. And as long as you hit some kind of water, you'll get something. They have devices that can get water out of the moisture in the air. Right. There's all kinds of solar stills and things that you can use that you can take any kind of water to make clean water, and you just basically need a cardboard box and a piece of saran wrap.
Okay, so let's look at this. Let's start looking at some facts here. We look. Oh, Papa Piss sent me $2.79 Canadian. Theory two tethers connected to the sun. DC voltage.
2 tethers connect to the sun, DC voltage.
That's what he asked.
Is this a proposed power generation, or I don't know what that is.
No, I don't know either. So here's the deal with this. So we wanna talk about, let's say, climate change, global, whatever they want to call it for this next decade, right? Now, we look at science. They ignore science.
Well, sure, absolutely. Okay. Well, they ignore any science they didn't pay for.
Okay, then you look at COVID, we look at science. They don't want to look at science.
Right.
But then when they want to debunk the Bible, they look at science. I think science is actually invented to debunk the Bible. That's all it's for. They're not using the science and pharmaceutical to make us better and live longer. They're trying to kill us with it.
Right.
If anything you look at, and anything, it's just whatever. Oh, Mike, but science invented electricity. No, it was some guy in some warehouse with some other guy experimenting with crap and trying to get something out of it. Yeah, okay, it's a scientific experiment, but it was the drive he had, the will, the actual doing it for nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? And
absolutely.
Nowadays, it's all about money. It's all about contracts. It's all about all that stuff. Science is not with us anymore. No.
Science is emerged originally. You had guys like Isaac Newton, right? Louis Pasteur. They did all kinds of experiments. They did it on their own initiative, in their own time, in their own dime. Tesla, died penniless, right? Like that
guy was brilliant.
He was brilliant. They were passionate people doing something that was really, really that they were just driven to do it. because they were able to do it in a way that other people couldn't. And they wanted to solve a lot of problems. Yeah, old white guy, there was science before the Bible. Before most scientists wore white coats, they wore black cassocks.
Weren't they called
James Watt, who invented that beam engine, and the Stirling engine, Alexander Stirling, they were all pastors and ministers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't see any conflict between science. They were looking for truth.
Exactly.
Of course, the way they viewed truth was through the lens of their biblical worldview. That doesn't mean that you have to have a biblical worldview to be an effective scientist. But the problem is now that most science is, Papa, it's a self-professed intellectual superiority religion. Well, science says. You're arguing with the science is settled. Science is funded now. It's directed.
Kind of reminds me.
Think tanks, and they get paid to come up with the answers that the particular people want.
Like, it kind of reminds me what you're saying, Supreme, about that guy. I think he lived in Michigan, or I think he lived in Pennsylvania. In the late 70s, he rebuilt his motor and changed the injection system and changed the intake system on his car for it to run off the fumes and not directly the gas, but a way for the vehicle to run off fumes, and he could run on a full tank of gas for about 2,000 kilometers, and he proved it. He was going to unveil it, and he was making videos about it and showing people and unveiling it to the world, and guess what? He disappeared a day later.
Yeah, well, a few people have done that.
They've never seen that guy ever since.
No, probably not. Yeah, he probably got scarce, or they paid him to go away, or he went into witness protection or something.
He's gone.
Or the suicide.
So how does science works like politics now, Supreme? Scientists. So it's like science. Let's say me and you, Supreme, we invent a vehicle that runs 2,000 kilometers on a single tank of gas. Let's say we did that. Mm-hmm. They'll shut us down. They'll and it's the same thing like politics. We get a Ross Perot or a John F. Kennedy to go in there and stand up for its people.
Yeah,
they won't get in because the media won't be with them, and nothing will be with them, and they'll be a bit mocked at and made ridiculed and made fun of. So how does one win when you can't win with science? You can't win politically. You can't. What's left?
Common sense. That's all you got. People find a way to survive. But it involves a lifestyle change, and usually for most people, they come to that realization later than they really should, because people are resistant to change. You have a normalcy bias, and the trouble with more normalcy bias is you got to remember this whole Hollywood dystopia thing, Mad Max and Blade Runner and that's a Hollywood psyop too. Nobody wants that. People would leave a place like that. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen that way. If they want to crowd everybody into the cities to depopulate the wilderness, well, then the housing needs to be cheaper.
Well, it's not to be cheaper. It's got to be within wages.
Right? It's got to be within wages. Or we'll own everything and then you just pay rent. Well, yeah, that'll work for a while maybe. Mm-hmm. But you've seen those Soviet apartment blocks, how that goes. That's no, it's not happening. If that's what they want to do, they're doing it wrong.
And then they want to go green. They want to go. We should get Greta to go into those states that made it illegal to collect solar energy, because there's some states, like I'm not sure which ones, but you got to go through so much red tape to put up solar panels, and it's an actual disastrous nightmare to actually get solar in some states or some cities or counties, right? So we should get Greta in there voicing and actually standing up against these big bureaucratic state people that run these states to allow people to harvest sunlight. But I think it was Nevada or one of those sunshines that gets a lot of sun, where they made it illegal for people to put up solar panels on the roof of their house.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've tried. Some places they've made, I think in Illinois, they made it illegal to, at least in some county, they made it illegal to collect rainwater.
Yes. Yeah,
someone
you go to prison.
That in the comments here, too. Yeah, you go to
you
prison.
Do 14 years in prison.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be for the farmers or something like that, right? Well,
the nearest farm is 200 miles.
Yeah, if it's an identifiable problem, well, maybe you could justify it in certain situations because we need food and everybody if you want to go green, well, don't expect to live in the suburbs and do it. That's all. Right? Wow. Like you're going to have to go out to the countryside. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where Greta's concerned, that poor kid. Good Lord. Her mother was some Swedish supermodel. Her father's some left-wing Antifa activist. I think she just wants their attention because they're too busy trying to save the world to raise their own child. And she's a little bit touched anyway. God bless her. I just feel sorry for her. She needs to go back to school. She needs a boyfriend. She needs a normal life. They're just using her as a prop, and I think it's really sick.
And I don't know. It's sad. It's sad what they're doing. What's happening with Joe Biden. I see him sometimes, and he could tell he's sick. And it bothers me. Like when I see that.
He took the ticket, man. He took the ticket years ago. Same as Hillary. She'd probably like to go and knit some sweaters for her grandkids or whatever it is that people like that do. Maybe knit a cozy for her artificial suicide bolt action rifle or something, But they gave their lives to the game, man. American politics is like that. It's continuous civil war. It is red in tooth and claw, sometimes literally. Mm-hmm. And the guy needs to go to home. He needs to go. There's probably no point sending him to Gitmo. He probably doesn't remember it. Can you punish somebody who's not all there? I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about real quick here. Condos. What are people in the cities going to do if we get another Carrington effect? They're going to be hit the hardest if they're in a tower. They can't use the elevator. Yeah. They can't use their damn microwave. They can't do. What are they going to do? All the corridors are blacked out. Maybe the emergency stairways will have electricity for a bit. I know a lot of those condo towers in downtown, let's say Vancouver or Seattle, they don't have solar panels on the roof. Well, you would need 1 million solar panels on a roof of you would need millions of solar panels to I'm being sarcastic with that. Yeah, but for a whole tower of 400 units, right? So
absolutely, yeah.
So what are they going to do in towers? Okay, they're going to we're going to have to take the stairs for a couple of days and get used to it. Okay, the grid doesn't get fixed. A week goes by. What are people going to do, Supreme?
They're going to have to go find a hotel and wait it out. They're going to have to go out to the countryside. I mean, think of 2001. Think of 9/11, right? You had all those planes grounded all over the place, and there was nowhere for a lot of those people to stay. So a lot of them were able to billet in the homes of, in the cities where the planes landed. There were people that took them in. They set up emergency centers in auditoriums and stadiums and churches and wherever else. Anybody that had spare clothing, bedding, food, whatever, they just put them up. I think the same thing will happen. In some ways, it might be nice. Carrington Event might be nice because you'd have all these city people going out to visit their relatives in the country or going somewhere where they need help.
Solar cleanse.
Yeah, and they'd actually find out that we're actually not bad people. Mm-hmm. It might not be that bad. Yeah, no, there's no question. Condo towers and things like that, unless they have emergency generators.
I can't see that 300-400 units. I can't see that, Supreme.
Yeah, but I mean, you might have to go down to the lobby or go down to no higher than say the 5th floor, as long as the water mains are working. If the city has emergency power, then you're going to, you're going to be able to supply water to a certain extent. Everyone will probably put up with it for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they'll have to be out of town, Layla, obviously. If the town doesn't have power, then you got to go to the next town. If we're talking about something mass, like continent-wide.
That's what I'm talking about. Like this last one that missed us, just brazed us. If we got hit, if one side of the earth got hit by that,
excuse me. Yeah, well, but most cities, where are most cities? Most cities are near rivers. They're near water of some kind or another. That's where they tend to arise. That's why cities kind of tend to be where they are, right? So you've got water of some kind going through. You look at the shutdowns, for COVID this year. Like in Venice, the canals were cleaned for the first time in a century. Mm-hmm. There were actually dolphins in them.
Yeah, I heard about
right?
that.
That kind of is actually kind of cool. The Earth is healing. Well, no, not really.
I think the Earth is taking itself back.
Yeah, the Earth is taking. Well, nature abhors a vacuum, right? And it absolutely will correct anything being done to upset the balance. It's as true morally. It's as true naturally as it is morally. Things just sooner or later, the pendulum swings. It doesn't matter how many people you have trying to hold it in one direction. Eventually, it just it just blows. No, people will come together in a lot of ways. Yes, there will be there'll be fighting, and there'll be panic, and there'll be lots of spoiled, rotten people, expecting all kinds of things to be given to them, and reality will be dealt to them rather harshly, which always happens.
Well, do you see governments coming in and saving people?
Well, if there's no power, then how's the government going to communicate anything?
How do we keep
Can they give you emergency cash if you can't use your ATM? I mean, I don't know what they would do.
What about continuity of government? How would How would the government send its orders out if there's no power? If there's no, I think the United States has something in place for that. I think so.
Yeah,
for continuity of government.
Most of their bases and their government centers and things like that are EMP hardened. I mean, they expected this kind of thing 50, 60 years ago, So no, there would be some continuity of government, and there would be the ability to communicate all over.
Supreme? Hello? Supreme? We lost Supreme.
At least.
Supreme, you there? Supreme? It looks like we lost Supreme Cannon. No big deal. Okay, whoa. Supreme Cannon sent me a few links here. We lost Supreme Cannon. No big deal. We're rolling into our second hour. We'll see if who else we can get on the show now. Okay, so these are our top stories now. Paris is still going on full blast. So this is basically let's take a look here. And this is still going on in Paris. It's been going on. I think they're in their 18th or 19th month of this. And this is going on strong. Let's take some images. I don't want to get the flag for harassment or for there it is there. Look at that, France. I don't know why these guys are literally painting themselves in the corner. Look at the paint there. What are they doing? I don't understand what they're doing there. Yeah, I'm going to get Dano on in a second. Dano just experienced a blackout. There's what's happening in France. Wow. So I kind of wanted to throw this on tonight's show just to show you guys that there's uprisings. And I think this COVID came in and blanketed. Russia moves its most powerful electronic warfare system to close to the border with Finland. So I had a friend in Lappeenranta that was along the border there with Finland that was looking for this on 2 weeks ago show on Mike in the Night. He was actually looking at this for us and seeing what was going on there. Guys, China has its first strike capability to melt U.S. power grid with electronic pulse weapon. There it is right there. DHS combats potential electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack. I don't think it's going to be an EMP attack. It's probably going to be the sun, because we'll get to that in a second. Biggest solar flare in 3 weeks is a sign the sun is waking up. Oh yeah, we're going to go into some serious climate change because the sun's waking up. So what do? Fill Al Gore's airplane with money and throw it into the sun or something? What do we do to fix this problem? You know what I'm saying? And here it is. Biggest EMP 2020. Earth narrowly avoided a catastrophe. There it is. There it is right there. There's the EMP. There it is. And our Earth narrowly missed this. If we got hit by this, and if you guys, the Carrington effect, or the Carrington, there it is. The sun emitted its biggest solar flare in years, and more will be flung to the Earth. There it is. San Antonio coalition takes aim at electromagnetic threats, and we're looking at a natural side, not really war. And there is the Carrington effect from 1859, when the geomagnetic storm basically wiped out all whatever electronics that were at the time, which we didn't have many, but what we did have at the time was those telegraph wires that got singed, and that's it. But now, a solar storm of this magnitude occurring today would cause a widespread of electrical disruptions, blackouts, and damage due to the extent of the outages of the electrical grid. So watch out. It's not like it's never happened, right? And that was through solar cycle 10. And there's the solar storm of 2012. Now, this is the question I have for you guys. This is a poll. Now, Supreme goes against it and says, nah, people will work together, come together right now over me. So here it is, guys. A poll reveals that 50% of the public said they would not be able to survive for more than 2 weeks without electricity, proving our dependency on readily available power. Of those polled, staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months they would be dead without power. So that's that. And aging power grid on overload, U.S. demands more. So we got all kinds. So we're looking at some of this solar backup power stuff. But the problem is if we have an EMP or a solar power flare, this thing gets fried. It's over. Like if you have this, it won't work. It would fry the whole system, depending on how hard the system gets hit, if that makes sense. It depends how hard we get hit, right? This will fry this. Our televisions stop working. Computers stop working. Our phones stop working. Everything electronic will be completely. It would exist in your hand. It would be right here, but it will stop working. So that's what we got to keep in mind. Things will stop working. And that's the problem. So what do we do on that? I mean, what can we do, right? So let's take a look here. Let's do a really quick. We're going into our second hour here. So guys, don't forget to set your reminders for 2021 Mike in the Night predictions. That's on December 26th. Don't forget to go to the channel here to the upcoming live streams. Next week's Mike, we got trends in the housing market. We got Mike in the Night next week. Are you prepared? We're going to discuss preparedness, what to do. I mean, things you can get. We're going to look at stuff that you can buy at the dollar store. What do you have? What are you prepared with? What can you bug out with if you have to leave? If you're in a condo, we're going to take the condo situation and say, I'm in a condo. What the hell do I do? Right? Well, we're going to talk preparedness, what you could do, what you could carry with you, what you could have on hand, what could save your life, basically. And then the week after, I want to talk about minimalism, Mike in the Night show, and then we have a Christmas special after. And then it's the Mike in the Night 2021 prediction call-ins. Everybody that's ever called into this channel, hopefully we could get a hold of you, and we're going to ask you in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what do you predict for 2021? How is it going to play out? What is happening? So there it is, guys. We got lots of people watching here tonight. Guys, don't forget to buy something on Teespring. If you guys want to get something for Christmas for your friend or Mike in the Night or Mike Martin's channel fan, go ahead and check out what we have here. We have all kinds of cool stuff. Don't forget to check out Facebook if you guys want to get notifications. I don't get any notifications here. Listen to this. Watch this, guys. I'm going to prove it to you right now live. I got 55 people saw this electronic grid failure that I put up at the same time 5 hours ago. Watch me. 55 people 5 hours ago. I have 115,000 people that follow me. 115,000 people that follow me on Facebook. I started my Facebook page when I started this YouTube channel at the same time so I could share. Okay, 115,000 people. Okay, 55 people reached. Watch this. We go on Parler. Let me refresh this real quick. $54 people reached on Parler. 55 people on Facebook. 54 people on Parler with 66 followers. 55 people on Facebook with 115,000 followers. That makes absolutely zero sense. Zero. So there it is. Everybody's on Parler. I know Stephen Williams is probably still watching. This is the Parler here. Go to Parler, set up your account. I'm following from the channel. I'm following who am I following? I'm following Lenny Poo, Amy Burr is on there. I hope Ralphie will get on there too. Blunt News is on there. Yeah, Lenny Poo's on there. I'm just trying to see. Papa Pissed. I think is he? No, I don't think it's him. It's the other gentleman there. Steve the Plumber. Oh, Steve the Plumber just commented. Man, I missed that guy. I hope he's doing okay. We got Mike. Look up for a Faraday cage. Faraday cage. Is that something that, unless you put your thing into a microwave oven, they say if you put your electronics into a microwave oven, that could protect your stuff from a. So that's art by Dan. I'll give you guys a link in a second. Give me a sec here, guys. What is this? Okay, it's this. Faraday cage is a shield and enclosed, used to block electromagnetic fields. Okay, here it is. That's a Faraday cage right there. It protects you from electromagnetic. Wow, look, they're making this. They're making places. Look, it's in China. It's got Chinese writing all over it. There it is. Look, it's in this here to protect it from any. Wow. Okay, so that's some good information we're getting there from our. Okay, let's go back here, guys. Don't forget to send me show tips on Instagram, please, and don't forget to follow us on Parler. Follow everybody from the channel. Art by Dano, let me give him a plug here. I did a plug earlier. Guys, please check out Art by Dano. This guy's amazing. He's got all kinds of stuff. I want to thank him for the prints he sent. Let me give him a call right now. Let's see if he picks up his phone. I know he had a power outage. I have him under my favorites. Where is this man? Art, where'd he go? Art by Dano. Where's Dano? Dano. Here he is. Dano.
Hey.
What's up, buddy? I'm going to show your face. Is that okay?
Oh, no. I haven't had my plastic surgery finished yet.
All right, guys. We got Dano on the... Whoa. Okay, there he is. Dano on the show from California. How are you, my brother?
Oh, man, it's been a crazy day, man. I was going to vent about it a little bit, but let me tell you something funny.
Go.
I was on Skype earlier with Lord Humongous. And the last thing he said before we got up was, Dano, I think something's going to happen. I think something big is going to happen in California. So I'm not kidding you. About 30 seconds after we hung up on each other, the blackout happened.
How long was it on for?
It was on for maybe an hour and a half, not too long. But it kind of freaked me out because right after he said that, it just kind of, something like that happened. So I go, he must have magic powers, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to thank you for all these prints you sent me.
Oh, for nothing, man.
And I want to thank you for this sketch. Guys, this is the sketch he made me right here.
Oh, hold on.
And that's the sketch he made me. I want to thank you for that sketch. And I'm gonna put that one up in my store, and I'm gonna put a couple of them up after we take all these Christmas decorations down. I'm gonna do it nice.
Right on.
So, okay. You started to freak out with 1.5 hours or 2 hours without power. What's going to happen with people after 2 weeks without power?
Well, I wasn't freaked out that we had no power. I was freaked out because it happened kind of after Laura Humongous said it.
Right. No. I guess it got you spooked. Yeah,
it got me a little spooked. It's funny, but I think we're gonna be okay. But a lot of the neighbors, I'm sure, will be. A lot of people are not going to be able to handle it. We're so dependent on electricity now. Think about it. The whole society runs on electricity. Everything. Your car. A lot of people are not gonna make it through a prolonged blackout. I don't think they'll go nuts, especially in a big city. I think you'll probably be okay in the country, but in the big cities, all hell's going to break loose if they had a prolonged blackout. I believe that.
Well, it's going to take them a long time to get to especially with the crumbling infrastructure and the crumbling electricity infrastructure. A lot of those, like Supreme Cannon was on earlier, and he says a lot of that stuff started in around 1918.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
You mean that's how old some of the power lines
infrastructure?
are?
Yeah, the infrastructure out there is pretty old. It's crumbly, right?
Well, I don't know why that is, because the power bills keep going up and up. So where the hell's the money going?
Well, it's the cost to maintain the infrastructure, and it's the cost of the non-hookups. So, Dano, in California, I think you guys are sitting on around 140,000. In LA County, about 108,000 empty units. And those 108,000 empty units are owned by foreign investors, and they don't connect the electricity, the water, and that's why your electricity goes up, because they're not hooking up to all those other units and making their money.
So basically, they're just covering their ass for the people that are not paying for electricity. Is that what you're saying?
That are not hooked up, yeah.
Huh. Well, I've seen a few empty houses, but not Not in the neighborhood we're in now, but certainly in where we moved from in the West Valley, there was a lot of Airbnb rentals, and I'm sure a lot more houses are empty there, you know. But no kidding, huh?
Anna Key has a question here from Australia. She wants to
Uh-oh.
know, hey, Mike, ask Dano about the 52 blocks of Tent City.
Well, is that the one downtown she's speaking of? There always was a big Skid Row downtown LA, but I guess it's just gotten bigger and bigger, and now it's like it's probably goes for, I'd say, a couple of miles probably. But I remember this happened about 6-7 years ago. You're gonna crack up. I was driving my oldest son to the Greyhound bus station. He was taking the Greyhound up to San Francisco to see his girlfriend. And I took the wrong turn. I don't know if anybody knows downtown LA, but I took the wrong turn off Soho Street where the 5 and the 10, all those freeways meet. And it was at night, about 10:30 at night. I ended up in a part of town down there, close to the area you're talking about, those 52 blocks. I ended up in a part of town there that literally looked like something from like Escape from New York or it just it blew me away. I mean, all of a sudden there was like just garbage everywhere. This is 7-8 years ago, and like people coming out of the shadows, homeless people, and really effed up looking people, and it was pretty scary, man. That's like just a few blocks off the main drag, from the bus station. It would look like bloody hell. So yeah, it does exist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I wanted to ask, does that remind you? I know you're old enough to remember this movie. Do you remember the movie The Wanderers?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they got lost in their car and they ended up in Ducky Boy territory? Was that like?
It's like that, but 10 times worse in real life. Yeah.
Okay, so how are you doing business? Are your businesses doing okay?
Oh man, you don't get me started. I've been at the Huntington Beach Pier Market this is my 6th year now, and we built a pretty good business there, a pretty good foundation.
Where exactly? Business. Say it again. You said it pretty quick.
Huntington Beach Pier Market. It's on
Huntington
Pacific Coast Highway and Main Street in Huntington Beach, right at the entrance to the pier.
Okay.
It's you're right on the ocean there. Anyway, this year's been a train wreck because of the COVID lockdowns. Pretty much shut it down earlier this year.
You sent me that photo of the beach of everyone surfing.
Oh, that wasn't Huntington Beach. That's some other area. I said that to you for a laugh because all these guys are out of work now, so the waters are crowded as hell now for surfers.
Surfers, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, let me get back to the thing. So anyway, the lockdowns early this year just basically shut down the pier market for a few weeks, and then we finally had a chance to open back in June. All the riots happened, so we were shut down again, and it's been bloody hell. I basically lost 1/3 of my income from the shutdowns, and I'm okay because I still work for the studios, the movie animation studios, so I'm okay. But most of my friends at the pier market, they've lost their businesses over the last few months. They're devastated. It's terrible what's happened from the lockdowns, and it's such bullshit because imagine yourself, you're 50 yards from the water. Ocean breeze blowing at you. The booths are, there's a good space between the booths. Even if you're masked and crap on, there's no way in hell you're going to get the COVID. There are 2 people wandering in my booth every 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Yet, all the big box stores are open. The Walmarts and the Lowe's and the, Costco. There's 500 people lining up to go in there, but you won't catch your COVID there. But you can. It's totally not fair to the small businesses, which are the
because if we look at the scientific facts that back this, we can't because it's a conspiracy when you look at the scientific facts. Of
course, yeah.
You look at the scientific facts behind global warming or global cooling or climate change or whatever they call it this week, science doesn't work. But when you talk about biblical or the Bible, science comes in.
Yeah, you're damn right. But I just want to say, and this is really why I wanted to call in tonight and vent this. So anyway, we finally got back on our feet again about 3 or 4 weeks ago at the pier, and just started to kind of make a little profit. And this is our best time of the year, of Christmas coming on. This is where I make the most sales. I meet the most people that turn into future commission jobs. Well, basically, today, Governor Gruesome Newsom shut it all down. He shut us down for the rest of the year.
Really?
New year. shut the pier market down. You know, there's no more. He put pressure on Huntington Beach City to shut the market down. So we're screwed. We got all this inventory that's going to sit there. I mean, I'll be able to move the inventory from my website, which is fine. But I love drawing in front of the people and engaging the public. You know what it's like, Mike. You have your game store. You know that feeling when you actually can talk to your customers and see what they like, and that's been taken away from us. And it's Christmas season. So what are all those poor bastards going to do that make most of their money for the rest of the year at the pier in their little shops, their jewelry, the custom jewelry and other crafts? And it's mostly people making handmade arts and crafts here in America. It's not people selling shit from China like they do at Walmart and other big box stores. So it's terrible what's happening to people.
How long did it take you to make this?
I can't really. I shut you off because whenever I'm on the Skype and I look at your broadcast, it screws it up, so I can't really see what you held up. What did you hold up?
The picture you drew of me with my hat and the raven there.
Oh, probably a couple of hours, something like that.
Well, maybe we'll talk later. I want to commission. I'm going to give you a photo. I want to get some of the best photos of me, my family, and then we could talk about commissioning a nice portrait. You tell me what it's going to cost. And,
yeah, we can work. I'll give you a good deal, man. You've been good to me, so yeah, we'll work something out.
No, definitely. I could give you the money half up front to get you started, and I could work something out. I get a nice image because I lost my dad last year. A nice photo of my dad.
I know. I've been following your channels. You look like a hell of a guy, man. I love that photograph you have on your Instagram when he's there with his buddies when they were soldiers.
In the army.
That is badass. That photo, man.
Yeah. I have a whole.
Magnificent Seven,
My mom's going to look for that photo album, and there's a whole photo album of those photos, and you wouldn't believe some of the photos they took like that.
No kidding, huh? That's cool.
Yeah. But if I give you like a photo of each, like one of my bests, one of my bests of my mom, one of my bests of my wife, and then you could put it into one, right?
Yeah, well, what I normally do is I would do a series of just black and white sketches. I always do those on spec.
Because I'm watching that Western one you're doing.
But hear me out for a second, Mike. I do a bunch of sketches, and you pick out the composition that you like the best, and that's the one I would do the final artwork based on. So that way you'll know what you'll be getting. You'll be happy with it, rather than me going on a tangent and doing something crazy, and you go, what the hell is this? That's not my family, or you know what I mean?
No. So I wouldn't. Can you show us that photo of that one, that Western one you're working on? Because that's what I'm talking about. That Western one looks so good with all those cowboys in it.
Yeah, that's a commission job I'm doing. It's a really good client of mine in Utah, and it's a huge painting. And what it is I can't really. Painting is 6 feet big, but yeah, it's a painting of Jesse James and Wyatt Earp and some of the other gunslingers of that era. And the other characters, the man in the center of the painting will be his dad who passed away. So the painting has his dad in the center of all his favorite Western stars and actors like John Wayne on each side of it. It's almost like a Last Supper of Western gangsters and sheriffs with this fellow's dad in the center. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a version digitally of the same painting composition, but I'm going to replace his dad with probably Wild Bill Hickok and some other characters from the 1800s. So I'll be able to, take the private things from his family off the painting and make it more general. So I'll be able to make prints for everybody of that genre.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. It's on, guys, if you want to check it out, Art by Dano. You can check out his website. Also, you can find him. He's got stuff on Amazon. I've seen it. His stuff is everywhere. Now, hold up. If you follow Dano on Instagram, you will find his photos, and you can see the photo of that Western. He sent it to me of that. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The realism in the photo, the eyes, the shade, the light, the contrast. It's just perfect.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And what I try to do, when I illustrate, well, first of all, I believe in traditional illustration. Like I got my, Bob Marley shirt on right now. And what I try to do is capture the emotion, the spirit of the person, rather than just imitate a photograph. Because illustration is the art of making somebody look like a movie star, making somebody larger than life. The men are more handsome, the women are more beautiful. And that's what classic illustration is. It's not just like tracing a photograph and coloring it in, which unfortunately so many illustrators do now because it's faster and easier to do. Like there's I mean, I grew up on the stuff I love is the old like James Bond movie posters and old Star Wars movie posters. That's the great stuff. That was done by really the best illustrators. It was done from people's imagination. Yes, I use photo reference, but I don't imitate the photograph. The compositions are all out of my head because whatever image you have of somebody in your mind is more powerful than the reality. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's really what I try to do with my art. And it takes longer, though, to do it that way.
Bringing out the soul.
Yeah, man, yeah.
That's what Supreme Canon said in the thing. I'm going to put a link again to your direct shop. Guys, I want everyone on there to go and pick something up. It's not his pricing is it goes depending on what kind of frame you want, what kind of quality you want. It just goes up in size and price. It's dirt cheap to get something. Get something for your friends. I'm gonna
I make sure I can have something that the middle class can afford as well. That's why I do it that way. Yeah.
I'm holding up the one here with Alfonso Capone.
The original gangsters, Mike.
Yeah, Alfonso Capone. And then that looks like Meyer Lansky.
Yeah, well, actually, it's in that painting it has Bugsy Siegel with the woman and John Dillinger, sneaking.
Oh, that's why I don't recognize him because
it's Lucky Luciano playing pool.
That is Lucky over there, right there. That's Lucky Luciano. Let me see
what you. Fun to do.
So let me just open this up, guys. I'm pretty excited to when I saw this, I was like, look at this. That's gonna probably go in the bathroom of my store because that's kind of a little bit adultish. This is gonna go in my son's room.
You're talking about? I can't see it, but
the girl in the martini glass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's I call that Betty's happy hour. Betty Page, the pinup. Well, that's Betty's happy hour. I call that one.
Oh, there's one here with Dirty Harry, John Wayne.
Yeah, that's one of my personal favorites. That one will probably stay in my family forever. I call that Hotel Leone, based on the Italian movie director Sergio Leone, and that has Lee Marvin in there from Dirty Dozen, and it has Clint, of course, and John Wayne with the "What the hell you looking at?" and then
and the cardstock.
The villain, yeah.
The cardstock is really good, guys. This is not paper. The cardstock.
No, it's great quality paper. It won't fade on you. You can, it's good quality stuff. It's thick. It's good. The colors are vibrant. It's not cheap crap.
No, good.
I have a really good printer, and I'll give them a shout out. Marco Fine Arts. They're a great printer. It took me a long time to find a printer of that quality, and all the products on my website they're good quality. They're not crap. I could have went that route, but I would rather support businesses in America, and Marco Fine Arts is an American company. They produce product in LA as well as I think Austin too. They have a place where they make some of them.
So I tried to call you earlier, and I wanted to ask you something. Okay.
Yeah.
You probably see you missed my call. I called you before the show because. If it's okay with you, if people could add a promo, like when they order from your website, order from your website, is there anywhere that they can leave you a message?
I can't remember how I have it structured now. I'm a pretty private person, but the best way to do it, just email me at artbyden01@yahoo.com. That's like my company.
And that's connected to your website, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know why?
It is,
the reason why I'm asking this is if they could put promo code Mike in the Night.
Oh yeah. Let me. I'll tell you what, Mike. Let me write that down because I'll forget. And I'll tell my web guy to if he needs to help set that up.
So he can set a promo code, and you could make up a promo code for different stuff.
So you want promo code Mike in the Night?
Mike in the Night, yeah. So if somebody orders from you and they put
they'll
promo
get a
code
discount. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call my fella on Monday and have him go at it. They're really nice people that do my website too. They do a great job too.
It's phenomenal. It's really good, and I'm happy to hear that you're getting by. You moved out of the big city. You were tired of that whole Riff
Oh,
Raff
man.
and Mickey
Well,
Mouse.
it just went downhill so much in the last few years, and it's, I think what did it is when my son's studio got robbed
Ooh.
earlier. It happened a few months ago. Recording studio he works at, and then when the riots happened, there was looting just a couple blocks away, like on Ventura Boulevard. This is in nice parts of town. This is like affluent parts of the valley, San Fernando Valley. So when that shit is that close to your home, you start to kind of think, and that's not even talking about the homeless, but a lot of those guys, authentically homeless, and a lot are basically alcoholics and drug addicts and just crazy people that should be put in an institution. But the fact is, there's more and more of them, and it is a danger. I mean, people have to walk by past these people, and it's not cool. But one thing I did notice, it's the same guy, panhandling that's been there for months on the corner. I mean, not where we live now, but in Woodland Hills. Yet they don't have COVID by some chance, and I never see
miraculous.
them masked.
Do you think that section? Do you think that section of California belongs to China? Because China didn't have a second wave or any more cases. Maybe that section of California belongs to China.
I don't know, man. But this whole thing, just something stinks about this whole thing to me. It doesn't add up. I mean, I've heard of people have died from it, and I've heard of. It's always been second-hand or third-hand. Nobody in my personal family and extended family has gotten really sick and died from this. None of my neighbors have, the ones I know. But yet you always hear like
3 million cases. 3 million cases.
Yeah, and the more people that they test, of course, the surge keeps going higher and higher because more people are scared shit and they're getting tested. So if I get tested 3 times in 1 week, that counts as 3 people.
Yeah.
People are getting COVID. But I mean, people are getting the flu and getting all kinds of other things too. I mean,
like heart attacks and cancer.
Yeah, and here's what I don't understand either. Okay, we used to live in one of the most populated cities in America. Part of LA, right? And you admit LA has what, about 5.9 million people in it, the general LA. Anyway, I've had kids over. My sons have a rock and roll band, and we had a couple of events where we had about 40, 50, 60 people at the house watching them play their live stream. Of course, I test everybody for their temperatures, and I had them masked. But anyway, we did that all summer and even before that, but nobody got sick of all those people, including us. So either we have the best immune system on the planet, or is there something else going on here?
Yeah. Something bigger, something deeper.
It doesn't add up. But I know people have died. So I want to see the autopsy, man. What did they really die of? Was that ammonia? Was the ammonia?
Well, no, we discussed a few Mike and the Nights ago, and you even commented on it when some guy died in a motorcycle crash in Florida, and it was remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember the movie Crazy? It's an old 70s grindhouse movie called Crazy Larry, Dirty Mary.
Yes, actually, yes.
They hit the car, hits the train.
Yes, I actually remember that scene.
That's a COVID fatality, 100%.
Oh, for sure. Guy's parachute didn't open, COVID death.
That'd be a funny cartoon to make, right? COVID. But what worries me is what are they going to roll out next to try to keep us?
Then my question, let me ask you this real quickly here.
Yeah.
Blackouts or food shortage? What do you see happening first?
Well, I think a food shortage is very possible because sometimes you'll even go to the store almost anytime certain food items are missing or under. You can go to the store one day, there's no bananas in 3 different stores or something else. So, yeah, if the supply chain is broken somewhere, you're definitely going to have food shortages. It's not that far-fetched, especially with millions of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially in California, in those big cities there, you got 5 million people that need to eat 3 times a day.
I'll tell you, Mike, they couldn't pay me to move back into LA. We've been here for maybe 2.5 months in Camarillo, 3 months, going on 3 months now. And you couldn't pay me to move back into the valley or other parts of LA. The difference in just the quality of life is just so much better, and you're only 30 miles away. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's insane.
I'm happy for you. I saw the photos you sent me. I'm happy that you've found bliss. I'm happy that you found.
Yeah, it's a very nice town. You would like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like America used to be. This town, or what supposed to be.
Mhm.
You know,
It's like the town I live in, the mountain town. This is what Canada used to be like.
yeah, I love it. Yeah,
That kind of like I live in a small town.
yeah.
Vancouver's not Canada anymore. You know,
Oh,
it's
don't get me started. It's sad when you see that. Yeah, I have friends up there, and the state's basically turned into Hong Kong. I mean,
and it's getting
Vancouver, you know?
and things are up on the flip side, and it's getting bad.
Well, what I don't understand is the expense of I was talking earlier with Lord Humongous, man, and we had a really fun chat. And he grew up in Burbank, so he knows Burbank really well. So when we talk about the same kind of things, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Talleyrand, I've had lunch there too. But anyway, just the price of houses even here. I know you say that American prices are not as high as Canada's, but the average price of a house in LA now is $900,000. My former neighbor in Woodland Hills, her dad bought the house, I think, the house was made in 1956. It basically needs a complete remodel. You know, I've been in it. It's a 2,000 square foot house. It was kind of a piece of crap inside, frankly. The backyard was nothing but dirt or sand, you know. And, I'm not kidding you. It's a old house, right? And she was asking $865 for it or something like that. And she got $925. Like she got 50, 60 grand over asking.
So do you tell me which American bought that, or what kind of job an American needs to buy that kind of house?
Well, most of these people that buy these houses, it's investors and it's contractors who basically they'll gut the whole thing and they'll build a McMansion there, and they'll sell it for $1.5 million or $1 million whatever. Right? That's what's going on. It's not families buying like the house we were in Woodland Hills, which was a really good deal for me, and it was a great place for its time, but it's another story. I'll tell you at another time. You'll crack up. But anyway, that house, when they were parading people through the house, they paraded about 60 people, the realtors, through the house, maybe 60, 70 people. This happened in August, right? And of all those people, there was only one family going through that actually had kids. The rest was contractors and investors, because I could tell by the cars parked in the driveway, Benzes and, contractor, high-end pickup trucks and that. And just by the conversations happening in the hallway, right, where they're talking shop, right? It wasn't families like, oh, I'm going to raise my kid here, and there's a nice school around the corner. It was none of that. It was basically exactly what you think, investors and speculators and contractors. And I found out that who bought the house was a contractor. They did exactly what I said. They gutted the place and they're rebuilding it.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the game. And there's no families moving in with like a 5-year-old kid. Forget it. Yeah. I mean, where's somebody in their like 30s or 20s, 30s? Where are they going to get down payment for a $900,000 house?
No, they're not. The average American can't get. Not even the average. The upper end. Yeah. Upper wage earner American can't even get into that.
Well, there's only one other way to get a house in the West Valley. That's if your parents bought it in the 50s or 60s and they drop dead literally.
Yeah. And
you inherit the house. There's a running joke about that. Like, she's living in her parents' house waiting for them to die so she can have a house there.
Wow. Wow.
I'm not even joking. Yeah, it's going on, right? Like,
all right.
So it's Trends in the Housing tonight too, huh?
No. Trends in the Housing is on Wednesday. We'll No worries. We're talking about stuff that kind of intercoincides with each other anyway.
But it's really happening. Like what I love about your channel is you're dealing with real people actually on the ground in these different places and cities and countries. I have no incentive to bullshit you. I'm not being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year like somebody on Fox or CNN to basically bullshit you reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
It's good to get real people, real voices, we got people all over the Commonwealth, right?
Yeah, you do. It's amazing how international your show really is. I found out things about Australia and other countries I had no clue about,
Mm-hmm.
So very educational. You guys are smarter than me on this channel, so I learned a lot. A lot more than I do.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I just we just see different angles is all. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's the ones that see or in that angle or that position could see and kind of formulate, right? Yeah. That's all it is.
That's right. Oh, where is it right now? Oh, anyways, I was gonna grab my. Never mind. I was gonna do a joke. Oh yes, I have a one of these here just in case. I know damn well that this .1008 millimeter thick fabric is going to protect me from every deadly virus.
Dude, that's going to save you. You can take that to outer space and on Mars and use that.
Well, hold on. I can't even. This is okay. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, yeah. I mean, is this? I think they're just laughing at us. Like, let's see what they're.
I think they're making fun of us, to be honest with you.
I mean, and then they're gonna. And you know what really bothers me? You know, when you go in the store now, every damn store has it now. The second you set foot in a Ralph's or a food store or whatever, a drugstore, they have the endless tape loop on the intercom going, keep your safe distance and wear your mask and remind you to wipe your own ass and everything else. Like,
and they have the hand sanitizer too. And they have the hand sanitizer when you walk in.
Yeah, it's like, what are we, just a bunch of sheep? Brain dead? Really, is that how bad it's gotten? Do you remember that movie Time Machine with the Eloy?
Yes.
I think that's what they want, isn't it? Is that where it's going?
I hope it doesn't go that way, Dano. I just hope. I
just want to sit here and collect, eat donuts and collect my universal basic income.
Yeah, that's all. That's what we don't want to be productive anymore. That's what they think.
I don't want to live in a world when I can't create my own world. Like you created your world between what you do with your store and your podcasts and that. You're creating your own world, right?
Right.
And that's what makes life worthwhile and make it better for your family and your kids and that. So imagine if they took that away from you and they gave you everything. Here's your check. Here's your little house. Here's your free car. And just put this on, and we'll keep the check coming. Just put this on, we'll keep the check coming.
That reminds me of when I visited Cuba.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Everybody gets if you work for the government, you get a free car. If you don't, then you walk, and then you got to take public transit. And public transit in Cuba is terrible.
That's what happens in all communist countries. Mm-hmm. They're all the same that way. It's true. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean. For all its, there's no perfect country in the world, but for all its faults, and I mean, this is the most important thing about America. And I know a lot of people crap on it all the time, and it does have its problems. But this is what it's really all about to me. I think America is really maybe one of the only countries, or the only country in the world where you can literally recreate yourself and do it many times over. Yeah. I know I had to do it, and it gives you the opportunity.
I know Tony Montana did it.
Pardon me?
Tony Montana did it.
That's right, but it's true. You can come here and you can recreate yourself and give it a go. And if that doesn't work, then you do another one, right? And another one. But because most other countries in the world, if you're a son of a mechanic, you're gonna be a mechanic. If you're, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's the caste systems and all that. So if we take that away from people, that you can, reinvent yourself or create your own world, and stop you from being able to do that and do it your way, then what the hell is it all for?
What's it for? What's it all? It's like I said, it goes back to the beginning of the show. It's your God-given right.
Yes.
When they remove God from the equation, what God? God doesn't exist. Right. What are you talking about? Are you mentally ill? That's why they tell me, I've already had 2 people, Dan, will tell me that I'm mentally ill because I believe in God.
Well, that's not true. You know what, Michael? And I just dug up in my drawer to grab this. During my move, many years ago, I lost some jewelry. This is probably 10, 15 years ago. And during my move, I found it, and it's a cross.
Wow.
Silver cross. I found it after many years. I thought I'd lost it. So when we moved into this new place, I was digging up through all my old crap. Here it is. I just have to get a chain made for it, a nice chain that will fit me so I can start wearing it.
Good.
So
I have mine right here.
Oh, right now, yeah. I mean, it's, and believe me, I'm no big proponent of big organized religion. Like those big fancy churches where they're, I'm talking about.
No, I know what you mean. I'm not part of that either. I'm not part of any of that.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
It's between us and that, right?
Yep. We're not talking about brick and mortar. We're talking about yes.
It's spiritual, yeah. It's not the, the Cal Worthington of preachers, I call that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Dano. It's been a good while. We've been talking for a good while here. And yeah, I'm gonna let you go. We got a few minutes left in the show, and I want to see if I could get. I think there's one more person that wanted to come on tonight, and see if I could catch him there in the comments.
Well, we have to thank Lord Humongous because he warmed me up tonight for you.
Good, yeah, good. Yeah, thank you, Lord Humongous. And he says you might be doing a drawing for us.
Hell yeah! I shouldn't ruin a surprise. I'll let him tell you, but
yeah,
it's from one of my favorite movies.
Good. Then you could, if you could send that to me in like high quality, then I could put it on a sweater.
Oh, absolutely! I'll send you a high resolution TIFF file.
I appreciate that. Then I can make the sweater he wants me to make him.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do that for you. Sure.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. All right, Dano. From California, thanks so much for coming on the channel. Guys, don't forget to Dano Art. I'm going to plug it right now, and I'm going to plug your Instagram, and I'm going to plug your stuff right now.
Awesome, man. Artbydano.com.
And thanks for the prints, and God bless you.
God bless you too, man.
Thank you so much, Dano. Goodbye. All right, guys, that is Dano. Art by Dano. So I'm going to give you guys his article scan here. Here he is, Art by Dano. This guy is awesome. Here is his, check him out here, and you can see a lot of his stuff here. This guy's great. He's got a, look at this. It's incredible what he's got, and the quality of the board is just phenomenal. And again, it's made in America stuff. It's not crap that comes from China and stuff. And Instagram. Let's see if I can find Dano here. Dano. Let's see if he, Art by Dano. Here he is, guys. There's his Art by Dano. He does make some short videos. So he is becoming, he's doing a lot of his videos here. I want to see if I have there's the Western one. You see that? You can barely see it, but there's a couple of guys, wanted, dead or alive, Jesse James. And his brother Frank. Hey, look at the commission work he does here. Look at all the work he does. Look at all the happy customers. There's Dano right there, man. Look at him by the beach with his with his mask on. Woo! Woo! There's a leaping Eddie Van Halen. Yeah. So check out Instagram. Art, follow him on Instagram, please. Let's get him Dano, let's get you on Parlor. Guys, I'm on Parlor. Let's follow each other on Parlor. I'm following everyone from the show. And if you're from the show, just message me on Parlor and I say, "Oh, good, I'll add you back." I have Amy I'm following. I think I have, and then everybody posts their stuff, and then the wall, when you go on the timeline, look at it, it's so cool. It's all kinds of stuff that you won't see on Facebook, basically. Yeah, all kinds of, look, Paris, Chaos in Paris. This is from Blunt News, and Blunt News is on here too, and probably in the live chat right now as we speak. But that's that right there. See, all kinds of stuff happening. Dinesh D'Souza's here. We got all kinds. Look, all kinds of stuff here. So get on Parlor, guys. Linny Poo's on there. She's posting every other hour. She got lots of good information she's pumping out. And, man, we're running out of time. Damn. The show's so good. It's just flowing, man. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for next week, Mike in the Night. Are you prepared? So we're going to go over preparedness. We're going to get the Alaskan Prepper on next year. He's going to come on first or second week of next year when he gets some time to come on Mike in the Night. And he's going to discuss ways and survival modes, tips, getting people, I guess, in check with what's coming. So set your reminders for that. Do you have a bug out bag? We'll go over my bug out bag, what I have in my bug out bag, what I need in my bug out bag, all these all-in-one tools. Really good to have, really handy. Power outages. All right, who can we have on the show to wrap it up? Who's in there? Who's here? Who is here on Skype? Well, the person that was supposed to come on disappeared, turned off his Skype, no biggie. Layla, let's see if she picks up. She brought up some good comments.
Hi, Mike.
Good, Layla. Okay, wrap up the show for us. You brought a lot of good comments up, and let's just focus a little bit on the topic. Electronic warfare system. solar corona ejected, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Do you see it happening?
I'm loving the solar flare one. I love it. It's fantastic.
Can you see it or
Mike,
what?
notice what they're doing, eh?
Huh?
Notice what they're doing.
Go ahead, tell us.
Go ahead. There's a delay. There was a serious delay. I couldn't even tell that you were going to call me. Like, I don't know how far back in the show I am, but yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Tell us. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? I saw you in the comments putting up some really good constructive comments in the live comments. You said it was something that the grid is too big for one point to shut it all down or something?
Well, I'm really suspicious of that, right? I mean, when you build anything, everything that's critical infrastructure, it has what's called diversity. So in telecom, for example, they'll build diversity paths, right? So you have point A to point B, and you're trying to connect them. You have one path and you have a second path so that if the one goes down, the other one is up.
Do you think they actually thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, when they build well, I can tell you, it was my job. In Canada and everywhere, these things are regulated. They have to build diversity paths because you are committed to bringing service to your customers. So you have to make sure that if one path goes down, the other one can go up. So it's called diversity, and it's to protect from single points of failures. Mm-hmm. So I just don't buy it that something as like all critical infrastructure, so things like communication, transport, electricity, probably water in whichever way that, whatever way that is built, it would have diversity paths and alternative paths. So I don't see there being a single point of failure for the grid. I mean, that would be crazy. Yes, electricity goes down, but I still think for the overall network, there would need to be a backup somewhere. So okay. when they say the grid is gonna get hit and it's gonna shut down everything, it has to be engineered. It's not because there's an accident or something like that. It has to be because they've decided to shut down the multiple points of failures and to make it a single point of failure. So I'm very suspicious of that. I just don't buy it. Okay. Honestly.
Now, Corona, one of these Corona ejection. Now, here, this bubble of gas, magnetic flux, released from the sun, carrying up to billions of tons of charged particles. Now, we had this happen. It's called the Carrington Event, 1859. The Earth was hit full face with this. The last one that just passed us a few days ago, just skimmed our Earth. If that hit our Earth, here's the problem with this, Layla. My phone will stop working. My computers will stop working. Everything that has some sort of electronic mechanism or electronic path or something to it is gone. That's the problem. And if we have something like that...
I'm worried about Mike in the Night show, eh?
Huh?
I'm worried about the Mike in the Night.
Oh, well, yeah. We're going to have to... Well, what happens then? Like, what happens? We read that... Okay, let me bring this up real here. What do we do without electricity? Life without electricity. A poll revealed that 50% of the public said they would not be able to survive more than 2 weeks without electricity. Is that true?
It's probably true in the West. 2 weeks is long. I don't think we've had 2 weeks without electricity around here, but in winter... Well, all year long, but in winter especially, we get longer electricity cuts. So we've always had rationed electricity in Syria and in Lebanon. In Lebanon for different reasons, but in Syria, for sure, it's rationed. Everything is rationed, and like all of these critical things are rationed. So in winter, it can get hard because we lose it for 3 hours and then we get it back for 3 hours. They also flip around the schedule every so often. So, and electricity is usually not strong enough for heat. So because it's rationed as well, it's not as powerful. And so people for heating, like in the winter, they depend on fuel. And we have these machines. I should take a picture of that and send it to you one day and show you some of the equipment that's used here. People have batteries. They have electricity regulators. Some people use wood. And then poor people use anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, people are really well equipped here, and like Mitch was saying, people improvise, like he was saying about his experience in the Philippines. So I don't see Westerners being able to cope in these ways, but
Well, if they live
people
in a
will
condo
quickly
tower,
learn,
what's going to happen?
right?
Condo tower is
That's
death.
pretty
So
tragic.
you can't even get. You have to go up and down the stairs. You got dark corridors, and if it's one of those ones that actually rip the electronic, I mean the infrastructure, where it takes it like basically cinders it. Luckily, back in the 1850s and 1860s, we only had telegraph wires, and those all got cindered. Luckily, that's all we had, electronic wise. That's all we got at that time. Now, if something like that hits, I mean, everything is gone. So it takes us back to the Stone Age, and it says, of those people, a staggering 75% predicted that within 2 months they would be dead.
Wow, it's good you mentioned that, because I was saying maybe I understand what they're trying to do with the grid thing, but what is their goal? And you're saying how many? 75% would be dead? Excellent. That's a great depopulation accelerator. So so why can't they just do that? Why do they have to go through COVID? Like why the whole COVID sing-song instead of, just hitting the grid? The grid narrative has been around for a while,
It has, yes.
And notice, Mike, they have all these irons in the fire. They always have all these narratives flying around so that, as the stories and things happen, they can tap in whichever one makes the most sense. Do you sort of see that, Mike? I
it's
think
a cloak.
that's what they do.
They cloak.
It's China, it's Russia, the grid, the solar flare, Nibiru, Planet X.
I love Nibiru.
The radiation. It's science nonsense, man. This is science fiction.
Yeah.
And you're saying this 1859 thing. Honestly, I don't recall it being a chapter in our history books. It's not.
Well, we didn't have any electronics at the time. The thing is that the whole deal with that is the Carrington effect was the Carrington event was because if we had more electronics at that time, like boom boxes, let's say we had 80s technology. Let's say this happened in the 80s. We'd be rebuilding still today and moving forward. We probably wouldn't be at the smartphone today if this happened in the 80s. We probably will still be still with those big box TVs and still building forward. You know what I'm saying? It'll set us back.
I get you. We'd feel it. We'd feel it more because we're more dependent on all of these things. I get it, but it could be fake news. I mean, they could, like when the COVID thing hit, they started to pull up all of these articles from history and situations from history about what happened with pandemics. And it just felt like, as they say, a deus ex machina, like it got out of the machine, like they pull things out of thin air, to make sense of the story, to sort of back it up with like, oh, this happened before and this is what we learned and all of that. And, it could be fake news. It could be entirely fake. And what about, you're saying there was another flare when?
There was a 2010 flare, but that grazed us. So we haven't gotten hit directly, but we could get hit. There's a good chance that we could get hit by this. It's just time, when. But who do we blame? Well, I think the only way we could solve this problem, I'm going to be really scientific here, okay? Is if Layla, you still there?
Yeah.
If we fill Al Gore's plane with money and throw it in the sun might give us an extra few cycles and kind of simmer down a bit.
Yeah, that's more realistic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all of this space stuff. It's weakly supported. They keep saying this might happen and that might happen. You can't know. They create these stories. You can't know. They might detonate something somewhere. A lot of these earthquakes, they could be underground bombs. There are lots of people who think that could be the case. How do you know they're not detonating something a few kilometers under the surface? It's within technology to be able to dig that far and to detonate something like that.
I want to thank real quick. I want to thank Mike Banks for sending me $1 tip for my coffee. Thank you, Mike. And Anthony Ruvalacaba for $5. I think I made $18 in super chat today. That should be enough gas to get me to. I'm just trying to think how far I could drive with $18. Well, I'm not going to Detroit, that's for sure. Okay, Layla. So what do you think will come first? The engineered, or okay, if it's not engineered, or some sort of, because they are, again, they are mentioning the rolling blackouts. We just had Dano on the show. He had a blackout, and these rolling blackouts are happening, okay? Now, are they warming people up to say, oh, it's been happening for years, and look what's happened now, and now we're off grid, and like, is this just a preparedness to get people to feel like it wasn't done on purpose? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and they do that with everything, right, Mike? So, and they always like to sound like it's an act of God, So, for example, negative interest rates, right? Everyone's saying, we don't want negative interest rates. We might have to, it's not, we don't want that and all of that. So that when it does happen, they make it sound like it's something that had to happen and that they're on our side and they want, they don't want that, but that's life and we have to deal with things in this way. So of course they're doing the same thing with the grid and everything. You were saying earlier, which is going to come first, the food shortages or the electricity cuts. Well, the food shortages are already here, Mike, right? And some people are starting to feel them. There's a lot of clipping going on in supermarkets and things like that, which is just, smaller quantities, same price and things like that. So that's also part of inflation. Mm-hmm. And the city cuts, I think, are already happening. They've been happening for a while in California. I think it was Anna Key who said that she didn't have electricity the other day in Australia. She had
without power for 3 weeks. Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah, please do.
Hurricane Wilma hit Broward County, and I was without power for 2 weeks and 2 days.
Who is that a news bit that you're reading?
No, me. I'm talking about me.
Oh, you were?
When I was in Broward County, yeah. We were hit by Hurricane Wilma, and it was hit pretty hard. And I had no power. I lost a few windows on my place. I put cardboard immediately and started cleaning up immediately after the hurricane. And when you hit the street, all the down trees, all the down power lines, I just went right back inside and grabbed the novel and just started reading. I said, I'm not going to wrap myself around this right now, And it was 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And let me tell you something, Layla. I didn't have enough reading material, okay? I had no lights. I had nothing. We couldn't heat things up. We couldn't do nothing. So this is what I did. I actually read the instruction manual for the microwave oven like 5 times. I'm not making, it was so boring. That's how bored I was.
Yeah, but it's smart what you did, because, you keep yourself calm and, your attention off these things.
Mm-hmm. And
I didn't experience 2 weeks, Mike, but when I first moved to Canada in 2013, no gas stove. You had a gas stove or you didn't?
I had a portable gas stove because it's Florida.
Yeah, you see, that's what I was saying. I was saying you need fuel. You need gas and fuel in some form or other because you're going to need to generate fire if you don't have electricity and batteries. It's good to have them, but they're not going to cover off everything always. So I guess you diversify your energy sources.
I had, those portable Coleman, the green one with the 2 mouths to cook on, and then it has.
We have plenty of those around here. This is so commonplace here.
Yeah,
they have the small ones and the big ones, and yeah.
I had one of those for camping, and I had a 6-pack of the big bottles.
Yeah.
I screw them on, and that one bottle would last me like 4 days, 5 days. I was surprised of how much gas was in those bottles. And
yeah, it's high pressure. We use liquefied.
Oh, that's more powerful.
Yeah. It's more expensive, but it lasts longer.
Yeah. So, I just I was out of power 2 weeks and 2 days, and I saw the progression of them cleaning up, picking up the down branches, the broken glass. The cars were getting towed away that couldn't move because they were completely squashed by trees. And you see these uprooted trees, like we're talking uprooted, like 23 feet in the air. Trees, like 23 feet in the air of roots, not the tree. The tree's on the ground, but the roots go up like 20, 30 feet. I've never seen anything like that in my life, ever. But we managed to get by, and it was 2 weeks, 2 days without power. I couldn't charge my laptop. I couldn't charge my phone. I couldn't charge anything. Yeah. And again, I used that gas thing. I had food. I already had stuff in my like I have here in my house. Like I'm prepared. So it's not like I'm going to be out in the wind, if something happens, or like we have what we need to survive, right?
Yeah, I sure hope so. And Canada is special because it's so cold.
Mhm.
I don't know. So Mike, have they been actually, because everyone's like this dark winter thing, and we know it happens in California, it's happening in Australia, and I was saying, so has it happened yet in Canada, or are they doing anything, or it's still just an idea that they're talking about? And do we know what dark winter means specifically in Canada, or everyone's assuming it's
I'm
going to be
thinking the
electricity
dark
cut?
winter means the disappearing middle class. I think it's that the dark winter is going to be the winter when I think it's going to be a lot of Americans are going to default on their housing, and Canadians. I think a lot of people start defaulting because now the stimulus is going to end, the forbearance in the state's going to end, all kinds is going to come to a halt, and people and landlords are going to lose their properties because their tenants aren't paying and they're behind on their mortgages. So you're going to see that domino effect. I think the dark winter is the disappearing middle class.
I have to, yeah, I have to agree with that, Mike, because I don't think dark winter is just an energy thing, or it's, they're going to start doing these rolling cuts and things like that. I think there's like a number of things that they want to check off as well, because they keep saying that there is a light at the end of the tunnel with regards to the COVID and the vaccine on the way, but this is going to be a dark winter. And then with Canada specifically, there's this whole conversation about how Canada is not first in line, how they're going to have to wait until September, when Trudeau said September, it was a disappointing date. It felt really late. So it just sounds like they want to get some things out of the door, before that vaccine is in line. But
yeah,
again,
they want to get a
if
few
they're
things
gonna,
because this COVID-19 is an absolute opportunity for. That's what he said in his own words.
yeah, they're not hiding it. They haven't really. It's just now things are very much in the open, and his 2030 thingy here, because they want to depopulate. Why bother with all of this COVID stuff? If they can just shut down the grid. What did you say? 75% would die. What was the number? Would
In
die
2
within
months,
2
75
months?
points will die in 2 months.
75% of the population would die in 2 months.
I could see a lot of city people, like people in their Mercedes and have microwave ovens in their glove compartments, and they don't, that kind of stuff. I think those people are so detached with nature, or detached with what you could eat, what plants you could eat, how to fish, like things like that. I think they're so detached, but they're so dependent on other people doing things for them that those people will go. Like, unless money has some sort of value still and you could pay somebody, but if money has no value and we're completely off grid, no one's gonna, if someone here's 50 grand, go ahead and dig a ditch for me, like, what am I gonna do with the 50 grand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's when food becomes currency. So Mike, this number, where did you read it? What is the source?
I'm going to bring it up again here. I'm going to put it on a document.
Because I'm not seeing your screen when
okay.
I speak.
So this is a poll that they did by EC4U. This is from the electronic courses. It's a good one. It's a good one here. I'm going to go to article scan. There's a good one because it had a whole piece written about life with no electricity. Taking away electricity means rethinking your entire day and planning how you can function without the means of simply plugging something in. No electricity results in a complete loss of normality. We are exploring alternative energy sources, living off grid, and how life with no electricity impacts us to make you think could live without electricity. So this goes into an in-depth, I'm going to leave the link to the article. There's graphs here. There's all kinds of stuff. And it gives you alternative.
Because I'm wondering, Mike, what is the population that, like when they concluded that 70% figure, I'm wondering what population they're covering, or if they are focusing on a specific country or a bunch of countries, or is this the whole world?
This is published out of the United States of America. So they're talking about Americans and their dependency on, you could say Canadians too, and even probably parts of Mexico. They're just heavily dependent on electronics and heavily dependent on tanning beds and all kinds of stuff.
Tanning beds. Yeah, you're saying that these people who don't fish in nature and do things like that, they would be the first to go. I think a chunk of them are going to go, but these are the people that they want to bring onto their 5G grid, right? These are the people that they want to, have dependent on the new system, right?
Right.
Digital currencies, 5G networks, automation, and all of that. So. And they want these people, they still need some people. So these are the people that I think would stick around.
Listen to this. Then there are those who live and survive without access to any electricity at all. And at a 2010 report showed that there were 1.2 billion people around the world with no access to electricity. That's 17% of the global population living in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite a few people that basically just don't live off electricity. They're living off. I would arguably say that 18% of the world, 17% of the global population is living off the land and living basically like we did 100 years ago if they don't have power and they're completely in the dark, right?
Yeah. I find that there's a pretty good balance around here, I think, even though some things can be hard and annoying. But there isn't a lot of dependence on electricity for everything. They diversify energy. They live off the land, especially my town. It's a volcanic area, so it's really fertile. So they have they have produce all year round. It's a bit chaotic, like you can imagine, and apart from the war.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good to have skills. It's good to have these skills. They do everything here. So in the summer, they prep all the foods. They dry a lot of fruit, they dry a lot of vegetables, and do things like that. And they store a lot of grains. They store energy. They store gas and fuel. And some people prep more than others, and depending on how much they want. Like my cousin is a major prepper, and she has 9 big bottles of gas that she keeps, which is really unusual to have. That's a big number. People have 2 normally, like a normal family would have 2, and they keep all of these small ones, like you said. But there's a fuel shortage, Mike, right now because of the sanctions. So it's not easy. It's and people there are shortages across every area, actually. Food, maybe not water, but fuel, definitely, electricity. So you have to learn to work around all of this around the clock.
Yeah, people can't deal with that. Mike Banks is sending me a pile of money. Thanks, Mike Banks. He sent me $2 and says $2 is like getting 2 $1 tips. I feel like the piano man in the corner there. The corner of the restaurant that's playing the piano, and people are throwing some change in the tip jar there. Oh, Anthony Ruvalacaba just did a price match at $2. There you go. I have $26 in super chat. That's enough money to probably get me to Vancouver now. Let's see if we can raise enough money to get me to Seattle. All right, let's go here. So I'm looking at this stuff, these solar panels, portable solar panels, all kinds of cool stuff in case we do need to go off or we have to operate off grid. Lots of these portable big battery chargers that allow you to charge your stuff. I mean, there is technology out of there that could keep us keep us afloat if needs be, right? But it's just the access to it, the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's about putting the whole thing, and putting the whole thing together and really just working around it. People use solar around here. You'll find a few houses that have them. They complain about the batteries. They say the batteries they're a bit annoying. They don't last forever.
No.
And you need to make sure it's a good quality battery, because if it breaks down and all of that, it becomes annoying. It's also pricey. It's not cheap.
So Mike Banks and Anthony Ruvalacaba are sending money and they're topping each other. So they're bidding. I guess they're bidding up each other and sending super chat. So I got $31. Now I could definitely make it to Vancouver on that money from where I live. So, anyways, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I'm not going to Detroit though; it's too far. I'm just going through this. I'm looking at some of this stuff here, Layla. Some of this portable stuff they have here, and It looks nice. It looks like something that, if you're handy with things, like. But again, a chunk, like you said, a majority of those people need they need to be part of the new smart city infrastructure too, right?
Yeah, you need people to help, to help run these things. Mike, I took the leap and I enrolled in a program in AI and ML, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. I just started just yesterday. So I'm going to upscale and see where that leads me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're already like it's really complex, and they're going really far, and they are really into mapping into intelligent action. So I think it's happening at a very high speed. Loblaws said that I think Loblaws announced their driverless, what are they, trucks? Yeah, they have a driverless fleet.
You're breaking up, Layla. They're pretty bad. Can you hear me? Hello?
Now,
Hello?
that's happening.
Hold on, Layla. We're losing you.
Can you
Layla? Hello?
Can you hear me, Mike?
You're breaking up really bad. I could hear myself too.
I guess my network is. I can hear myself too. Let me just. I guess my network is changing, Mike. It's stepping down.
Oh, is that bad?
Well, every so often it adjusts, so when it changes, you lose me.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect. You were saying something. Say it again.
What was I saying? I forget.
I couldn't hear you. Something about some job or some different idea. Loblaws. Something called driverless trucks.
Yeah. So Loblaws have their driverless trucks now that are coming into play. They've been working on these things for a while. They recruit people from Amazon and Walmart, and they try to get a transfer of the technology or the thinking of how to redesign these things. And the CEO of Linamar, there was a conversation about manufacturing on Ontario. She was saying that manufacturing is, changing to automation, and it doesn't always necessarily mean that you lose a lot of jobs. But I obviously don't agree with that. I mean, you can bring on the Raven and see what they're doing with transport to automate. Just a couple of weeks ago, I think they were saying that for CN to remain competitive with, I guess, other networks in North America, they're going to move to automation.
And one man, a one-man system.
Not unmanned vehicles.
No, they're going to have one person now instead of like more.
I think that was on the TTC, but they can take that farther, right, Mike? And they're doing driverless everything. And in California, they already have these driverless taxis, I think. So it's already, it's happening. So they're going to shut down the grid, but they can't shut down the grid forever if they want Industry 4.0, because Industry 4.0 is highly, highly dependent on all of that. So it sounds like it's, if that 70% number is correct, wow, it sounds like a reset proper. And it would be for automation. So it's a transition to reduce all of this workforce.
So the Raven is $75. I'm at $43 now, Layla, on Super Chat. Now I have enough fuel to make it to the American-Canadian border now.
Mm.
I'm at the border.
I think airports are open. I don't think you can.
I drive everywhere. I mean, if there's land, I'll drive there.
Yeah.
Layla, so okay. You know what's scaring me? If what we're talking about happens in 6 months from now, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a really big deal. Yes, Mike. And I'll be honest with you. I haven't been working for 9 months. It's a big issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I think of whether I should apply for work, and I'm always looking out for what's going on in Canada and in Toronto. And I think it was Anne. She was asking me earlier if I'm planning a return. Every time I look at these things and then what's happening, I hesitate, and I think that I have to wait a bit longer, at least maybe to see how the vaccines are going to play out. if I get there, I don't have a place there. I don't have anyone there. I still have my phone number. I'm going to get rid of that soon. But if I get there and I don't have a proper self-isolation plan at the border, because you have to present one, it's called the program is called Arrive Canada. You might want to look it up. Where they might take me into some. How do I know they're not going to take me into some isolation center? Like, is that so far-fetched as an
a
idea?
camp or something, and it's all fenced off.
They already are in operation in Ontario, in Mississauga, in Toronto proper. And you heard that mayor of Brampton just desperately calling for isolation centers because Brampton is a more industrialized area. It's concerning. It concerns me. And you heard that guy, and the health minister, what was it? Chief medical officer of Ontario. Did you hear what he said? He said, vaccines are not going to be mandated, but what's probably going to be mandated is proof of vaccination in order to have freedom to move around in certain places and not have to wear PPE. Okay, so this is mainstream media. These are official representatives of the Ontario government. This is not me wearing a tinfoil hat. When I see all of this happening, I worry about what's going to happen, and I prefer to wait it out. And in the meantime, I'm going to do other things on the side to try to, like I'm going to upscale and do these things now. But yeah, 6 months from now, sorry, like all of this was to your point. 6 months from now, it's concerning. Yeah, to me, it was concerning a while back, Mike. I've been saying, what is the plan? Is anyone planning to leave? And then folks in the comment ask, rightfully, probably, where do people go? How do they get out of this?
Okay, so everyone's sending me money on Super Chat. Paul S. sent me cash, $6.99. Mike Banks sent me another $2. Layla stays up till 8 a.m. for the show, by the way, folks. Okay, so guys, so I'm going to show you a map on gas level here, so just bear with me. So Merritt is up here. Okay, that's Calgary. Where am I going? Okay, so Merritt's up here. So you guys have officially sent me enough gas, $54, to get me down this highway, all the way here. Okay, pay attention. All the way here, up this way, down this way, to the Blaine border. And Paul Anthony, right now, because of inflation, sent me $2 more. I could probably get to, with that much gas, I could probably get to Bellingham, Washington. That's exactly where I could make it right now with the money you sent me. I could get to Bellingham. Never mind. Raven sent me $9.11. That's going to push me a little bit further, and that's going to probably $9 gas will probably get me to Everett. Now, Washington. So I'm in Everett, Washington right now, Layla. Hello? I think we lost Layla.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. We're at Everett, Washington right now, Layla. Maybe we'll make it to Mexico tonight.
Is anyone concerned about Mexico, or is still that one of the better places to bug out to?
The problem with Mexico, I was there for a long time. You know that, right? I speak Mexican. The problem with that I find with Mexico is that it's a really tough country to detach from once you're there. It's really hard to leave it. And then it's very hard to own anything in that country. Like, I tried to buy a vehicle there. I had to borrow cars all the time. Like, they wouldn't let me buy a car in Mexico. They wouldn't let me buy property. Yeah.
Okay, property I get, but cars?
I couldn't. They wouldn't let me buy a car.
Okay. I was thinking more along the lines of the Chinese military taking up locations in Canada and apparently Mexico as well, or was it something else in Mexico, the National Guard and the United Nations deal or something?
Oh, you're talking
about the fact that Mexico is in NAFTA, so I don't see how they would be spared from all of that.
I see what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. What's Mexicans' role? Okay, Mexicans can't stand Canadians. They will not tell Canadians, but they don't like Canadians. That's what MC says. Okay, let's pretend Mexico's one of the dominoes in this domino rally we're looking at here. This is a big domino rally, right? What Mexico's part in pay to play in this? What would they do? I don't know. I don't. Well, I can see Australia. I understand Australia's domino, where they're gonna fall. I understand Canada. I get parts of America. I get it. But Mexico is tough. I kind of see Brazil where it's going because I know the country.
I see Brazil.
Huh?
Yeah, I see Brazil. I see Brazil too.
Yeah, but it's just Mexico's a tough nut. It is part of North America. The only thing I could see is bringing in cheaper labor into the United States and outworking the local Americans in the construction and other industries. I mean, that's the only thing. Like America was dealing back in the 90s and in the early 2000s with the cheap Mexican labor that was coming up. And that was an issue for many years. Even the Mexicans that became legalized and became American were mad at them for coming up. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know if that model is going to go on though, Mike, because in view of the changes in the whole economy and the whole industry, it might, this worker thing will change a little bit. I think automation is a serious goal that they have. And even if it takes a bit more time to implement this, I'm sure it will. It's obvious that it will.
I got one.
It's still a serious goal.
I got one. The Trans-American Highway.
Is that?
It goes from Mexico City.
Is that still going on?
I think they're working on that. It goes from Mexico City to Montreal, and it branches out through a couple of branches in America to go to west coast of Canada. So it would start in Mexico City. So you would connect from Mexico City from the Gulf, and you would connect from the other side of like Baja California side, and then from there's a connection from those two Gulfs, the Gulf, and from the coast, the other coast, the Pacific Ocean. They would meet in Mexico City in the middle, and from Mexico City, it would transport all the way up to the top of all the way to Montreal through Toronto and up to Montreal.
Yeah,
that's the Trans-Canada, Trans-American Mexican highway.
I think that the North American Union is still a project on the table.
The Amero dollar. Someone mentioned that in the comments. I made a video 5 years ago about the Amero dollar becoming a thing. It's
going to be a digital thing. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Mitch Madden saying drug cartels in Mexico own the government. Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, actually.
Well, a lot of cities, okay, there's some cities I know, like some little towns, like with populations like of 13, 15,000 in Mexico where they don't have local police and the people actually patrol, the actual people of the city patrol and maintain their own city.
Yeah, it happens in Syria as well. There are no-go zones. It's not for drug reasons, but it's, the militias and the...
Oh, it's not. Well, in Mexico, it's not malicious. It's just people upholding the law and going around, making sure families are okay. Yeah. Patrolling, driving around, using their own vehicles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's good or bad, because in a way, it's good. I think anyway.
Ventura 59. It's Pan American Highway, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, how much beer should we stock up on?
None. Keep your head.
Yeah, keep your head straight. All right. Okay, Layla. I'm getting tired. It's I've been talking for 3 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah, Mike, for sure.
Straight.
Yeah, too bad Steve the plumber couldn't make it on the call. It's been a while.
I missed that guy. I keep missing his call, and I call him back.
I know.
Yeah. So we keep missing each other.
He was on the chat. Yeah, he's on the chat tonight. Try to get him on next time, or maybe
I will.
On Trends
I want to get him on Trends in the housing market next week.
Yeah.
Give us an
Okay,
update on what's
super.
happening. All right, Layla, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
breaking up again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, you went out for a second there. Okay, we're gonna let you go. Get some. I know. Is it still early in the morning there?
Yeah, but I did sleep tonight, so yeah, no worries.
Yes. All right, Layla. You take care. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you very soon. Okay.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Take care,
God bless
everyone.
you.
God bless.
That is Layla out of Syria, giving us an update on what's happening. Okay, guys, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go check on my kids. I gotta go check on my family. And guys, I really appreciate you guys coming out tonight for this time. If you watch the whole show, 3.5 hours, wow. I gotta hit the bathroom real hard. And yeah, comments going full blast. Thank you everybody for the super chat. I appreciate the super chat. Mike Martins would make a great South American dictator. I probably could. I do speak Portuguese and Spanish. And a lot of people don't know the official language in South America is Portuguese. They all think it's Spanish for some reason. But yes, I speak both languages very well. Lost Together Forever in the comments. Good to see you in the comments. Paul S., thanks for the super chat, my brother. Supreme Cannon, thanks for coming on. Anthony Ruvalacaba, thanks for the super chat. CJ in the house. We got Layla, thank you very much. Mike Banks, thanks for all the money. Bob Smithers. Anna Key. Who else we got here? Yeah, Supreme Cannon says I play Tropical like a boss. Me and Supreme Cannon were playing Tropical once. Literally the video game. I'm not kidding you. MC in the house, Mitch Madden, Matrix Rip. Guys, get on Parler. Come on, get on Parler. Go look at the timeline on Parler and see what people are posting. Be like, holy crap, this is crazy. This is like Facebook all over again. We got VMan 293. Buddy said he's gonna. Forgiven is saying we'll listen to the replay. No problem, buddy. Yeah, I know. Lost Together Forever says, see you next week. We watch your vids all the time. I know you do. Thank you very much. Den Setrov, thanks for sending me that link in the email. Thanks for sending me that link for that story that I covered the other day. I appreciate that. See, look at everybody. We're all connected here somehow. All of us. This is not by chance we're here. We're here for a reason. Yep. And how dare you get tired, says Amy Burr. I signed up for Parler last night, not Parler. Well, I'll give you guys the link to Parler, okay, before I go, so you guys could find the right one. There's like weird stuff out there that looks like Facebook created to throw people off. So let me go to my home. Okay, there it is. There's my Parler. So I'm going to go here. You're going to find me right away. You're going to find tonight's show. There's tonight's show. Joe Ming is saying, stop yelling, you scared my bird. Sorry, Joe. I don't mean to yell. I just, there you go, guys. Get on Parler. Everybody follow each other. I'm following Amy Burr. Mike Banks, can you get on there, please, so we could follow you? Thank you. So you too, Raven. Get on there now. All right, guys. That's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. Please take care. And if you can't take care, please stay safe. See you soon. See you on Trends in the Housing Market. Thanks for watching. Thank you, everyone.